Welcome to the new norm.
What?
Well, I wanted vanilla zero Coke, but my quick shop didn't have it, and I'd have time to make extra stuff, so I just got regular vanilla Coke. But it makes Crown not taste like ass.
Correct.
Vanilla. I tried it with Coke. I was like, ugh.
No ass.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The taste of ass is actually not bad, so maybe we should use a different comparison.
All right.
Tastes like ass.
All right. I'm going to click start streaming.
You are already streaming? Damn it!
Nope.
You said recording.
I'm recording.
I wasn't paying attention.
I'm recording. I'm not streaming.
Attention. I only said that because I thought it was on live. I mean, I don't disagree with the statement, but
okay, we're live. We're live now. Hi.
Hi.
We're not going to do any of these. Like we're not going to sit here. No, sorry.
Dear.
We don't sit in 30 minutes of starting soon.
Is that a slight dig?
Slight dig.
Why are you not working, audio?
All right, I got to post in the Discord though. This is going to be totally unprofessional. Everyone can see us and hear us now, but I'm still like posting everywhere. So entertain the masses.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the main event, the Battle Royale to end all Battle Royales. It's time where we duke it out and decide our predictions.
That was pretty fucking awesome.
Thank you. I figured everyone would enjoy it. Had to pull out something.
Well, clearly, you're not Andrew too.
I'm not sure what that was supposed to mean.
I'm trying to pull up the stream on my my TV.
Oh no, it's Andrew Pays.
If I pull up the stream, it's gonna wreck my Wi-Fi. So we're just gonna roll without it.
So you're not gonna see chat at all, or you can pull it up on your phone.
It takes so much effort.
Oh my gosh, he's lazy, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to pull up chat. Where is chat?
Thinking that maybe there should have been just a little bit of allowed time.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah. What fun is our podcast if we don't just, ramble on time after time?
I mean, these people don't have boss battle to keep them occupied.
I mean, I don't even think people are interested.
I think people will love this.
Love. He says love.
Once we actually get started.
Right? People will come.
People will come.
I got a feeling it's going to have a lot of people either screaming or yelling at their, TVs, computers, whatever, telling us we're idiots in the chat, stuff like that, because, we're going to say one team is going to be crap, and then, everyone's going to be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Huh?
Well, inevitably, one of us is going to be wrong. Most likely all of us.
Someone's
wow, Denver's got a sword. All right.
Someone's going to
Harris?
Yeah, Denbrew is a mod from when I stream way back.
Someone's going to be wrong, and here's why it's going to be you. A little flashback. I miss our little show.
It's funny. I watched this YouTube video about like how the argumentative style of like ESPN is one of the reasons that it's having its downfall right now.
Our show had its place, had its good run, and I'm not saying it will never come back. Just right now is not the right time for it.
Or maybe like a once in a while thing, not like
a once off if something is completely crazy.
Yeah.
So
that's what that format is good for.
Postseason, is that what I'm hearing?
What's that?
I said at least one of you needs to be in the postseason. Is that what I'm hearing?
Hey, I made it last year.
1 for 5, ladies and gentlemen.
For a short amount I didn't even win a game in the postseason though, so it's not really that impressive.
Yeah, we'll wait a few more minutes and wait for a few more people to get in here before we start jumping into the predictions.
Imagine my surprise 3 Sims ago when my owner's team focus was building a dynasty.
I think that his team owner might be having something stronger than I am.
I think his team owner
having a stroke is what he was having.
Isn't that what you're hoping for? Get a new owner with more influx of money?
I think his team owner thought. I think his team owner watched that Jose Ramirez Tim Anderson fight and thought he was Jose Ramirez. We're really in this situation. He's Tim Anderson.
But by the way, for those of you that are here,
you gotta at least throw a punch.
I mean, There are guys who fought Mike Tyson that lasted longer than Anderson. Jeez.
Why that reminded me of the Pedro Martinez Don Zimmer, where Don Zimmer stood no chance. Like,
oh yeah, I posted that one a couple of weeks ago, I think, in one of the channels.
All right,
That
so
was good.
For those of you listening, hi, we're just kind of shooting the breeze right now.
And I'm on ad 7 of 9. So
we're running the ads early today. That way we can get them out of the way for an hour of commercial-free content.
Yeah,
brought
and
to
we
you
also
by
need
Dr.
to give time
Pepper.
for Brendan to get hammered because he didn't get home from work quick enough.
And Minerva is saying you might want to lower the mic a little bit.
Well, the question is, whose mic? My mic or all of y'all's?
It's probably mine.
I lowered you a little bit, Aiden.
Can you hear us
Do
now?
I need to lower me a little more, or are we good?
I can lower each of you individually.
Okay, then I won't touch my mic sound.
I just need to know who's loud, myself or because my audio is different source than your all's audio.
That's right.
We hear you, Tim.
Your alls.
Y'all's.
By the way, the Florence Y'alls, what a great team name in the independent leagues. Independent ball has some great team names.
So I was the Evanstown Otters are my favorite.
I like the Portland Pickles, the Florence Y'alls, the Burlington Sock Puppets.
So I was actually supposed to go see a Gateway Grizzlies game the other week because they were doing something in combination with Major League Wiffle Ball. So we were going to watch the Wiffle Ball games, then the Gateway Grizzlies, and then another set of the Wiffle Ball games. And then it rained out the Grizzlies game, but we got to see all the Wiffle Ball games.
That must have been fun. Was that a good experience?
It was a lot of fun.
Do you know where the Florence Y'all's name comes from?
Well, because they used to be the Florence
Freedom.
Florence Freedom, because I had a buddy who worked for the team.
Yeah, so the Florence Y'all's
sound of the eagles screeching.
It comes from, there's a water tower in Florence that would always say Florence Y'all.
Florence Y'all.
By the Florence Mall.
I like that. Our resident, Ohio, Kentucky, giving us some good information.
Greater Cincinnati
area.
Honestly, without
Harris,
JR,
don't open that. Harris, don't open that can of worms.
What did he say? I can't read the chat, so I'm not.
He said, "What do you guys think about CCPs?"
I love them, and I want them to be more overpowered.
I love your CCPs, Harris.
Let me put it this way. Let me put it.
They're the only ones I have a problem with. I only have a problem with players who play for the Toronto Blue Jays, with the exception of Ed Brown.
It's like the CCP All-Star team over in Toronto. I will say,
yes, the next CCP festival is going to be Cleveland, Toronto, and Pittsburgh, and just
everyone else gets just put on one of the teams,
and then everyone else.
Thank you.
You know what you should do for the CCP festival? And maybe this is crazy because I don't know how it lines up, and I'm not actually saying you should do this, but divide them by division. So you have the AL East CCPs versus the AL West CCPs versus the NL West CCPs versus the NL East CCPs.
I'll take a look at that because honestly, playing 60-some games.
I feel like 4 teams might be a little better than 8.
Yeah.
And plus, it'd be fun, You would get to see guys like Ed Brown on the same field as Jordan Cage, which you already get to see, as Aiden Pearson, as Jacob McKnight as well. You'd get to see these fun.
Oh, so you want the AL East to win, is what I'm hearing. So yeah,
I can neither confirm nor deny. I mean, we
all know which division would win.
By the way, Tim, I don't know if you've got the chat pulled up. Atticus saying he loves your shirt and he's wearing the orange version right now.
Awesome. All right.
See, Tim, I'm just trying to defend my crown as the home run derby champion.
As the home run derby champion.
After a very sad showing last year, I am glad I won it, and I'm looking to defend my title again.
And you know what?
Mascot.
When you got to the quarterfinals, I was like, "Hey,
this is Addie.
Hi."
Hey.
She's my co-commish.
Oh, yeah, she's the co-editor.
She's co-editor. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Love you.
I love you too.
You gonna go eat dinner now?
It's not ready yet.
Not ready yet? Okay.
Because it's for McAllister.
Okay. We're waiting for Grandpa to get home. Okay.
And Mommy let me have the permission to watch TV.
Okay. You want to say bye to everyone?
Bye.
Bye-bye.
If that doesn't get this off to a good start. But Tim, you were saying once I got to the quarterfinals.
Wholesome stream.
I was like, if he wins this thing, it's going to seem like I rigged it.
I know you couldn't rig it. Like I was expecting to go out and by reading the stories. Like by reading the stories, I was I was very much thinking I could go out at any round here.
JR.
I thought Slam was going to win it, to be honest.
I thought so too.
Well, you know I have a type. You've seen my likes on the Twitter machine.
Redheads.
Yeah, if you want to fall down a rabbit trail.
Yeah. I showed my dad a clip of the last podcast when I made thing about Leafy over Jesus.
Oh,
and he's like, well, who is that? And I
showed him.
He's like,
now I see why they're saying that. So,
Denver says, "What's Twitter? I only know X."
Oh God, fucking bullshit.
It is some bullshit, man.
By the way, I am not censoring any of this.
Have we been live long enough to get into this?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't think we've
10 minutes
censored
now.
anything in a long time, and I don't think we should start. I think
No,
I prefer uncensored.
It's no fun when we censor.
Here, hold on.
Oh, I figure we'll bullshit for just a little bit longer. I will go get more ice, make drink number 3, and then we'll get going.
Oh, 3 drink.
This is going to be that episode.
Have you ever seen How I Met Your Mother?
Johnny got faster as he drank.
Yes.
Oh yeah. 3 drink, Robin.
Yeah, 3 drink Brenden. What's 3 drink Brenden? You'll find out soon here on the Podcast Pals and Broadcast Buddies episode.
What drink options do we have,
eMLB
Brenden? What are our options here tonight?
Our options are anything I can make with triple sec, Crown, a tiny bit of tequila, and Coke, vanilla Coke and Coke Zero, because that is all the liquids I have currently in my fridge.
So what do people need to donate to get you to make your next drink?
Oh God!
Yeah, what's our donation to get you to
Probably
make a drink,
nothing.
to get to choose your drink?
$5.
$5. You heard
Can
the
they
guy.
name the drink?
$5 to kick cancer in the ass and decide what I drink out of that shitty combo.
There you go.
All right.
But it has to
By the
taste
way,
fine.
Following up with Brendan's language there, I'm just gonna put this on the screen right now.
Can you make that tiny and put it in like the bottom right hand corner?
Oh God,
yes.
that's a little bit.
I can't.
That might be smart.
So what? We're a rap
There it is.
album now?
Yeah, there we go. Hold on, everyone, do your album cover. The JR.
I can't.
Or the Andrew. Hold on, the Andrew. The many faces of the
the all-time greatest.
Yes, that's the best one.
The fact that I got all 3 of those screenshots, I'm very pleased.
I don't like Kamish's edited version of mine, drawing the beard.
That one was great. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
No,
Anyone that didn't like that.
Cody says we're going to donate so much that
I
Brendan's
see
going to
that.
get liver cancer. I feel like it would be liver disease, but
I mean, can we cure that cancer then with all the money?
yeah,
you guys
let's
donated?
stay away from saying it's cancer. It's liver disease, which I'm pretty sure it's what it is.
$200, I take my shirt off.
Whoa.
That's 2 drink, Brendan.
That's 2 drink.
$500 he doesn't.
Hey,
If we get to $250, I'll do 10 minutes of the podcast in a catcher's mask.
You're stealing my stream thing that I used to do.
You did an umpire mask. I have a catcher's mask. There's a difference.
I did definitely do an umpire's mask.
so I want to put out for the record that biologically speaking, I am almost ready to do predictions because my head is starting to buzz a little bit. So
Oh gosh.
Woo!
Denver says make sure we're in TOS so we don't get me banned, my channel banned. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be the worst. Well, I
I'm
would
ready
still
to
want
do
to
predictions.
access Twitch, but me not being able to stream wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. unless they ban me before this weekend. But anyway, are we done making up crap?
Are we ready to get into this?
I don't know. Are you guys?
Are we
ready
getting
for
into
this?
the meat of the matter?
I need to fix something on my spreadsheet.
Ladies and
Well, I've got this
let's
spreadsheet.
Get ready to predict. Correct.
I'm not gonna lie. This is taking mental priority.
Wait, which one? Is that?
I like
no.
that one.
I
No,
like that one.
No.
this one takes up more of the screen. I still think the parental advisory is still there. In the corner.
And I didn't run this by you guys, but I'm just gonna say it. For every $5 donation we get, you get to choose one person to ask a hot seat question to that they must answer.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Didn't run that by them, but you know what? We're doing
I'll
it
be right
anyways.
back.
So
I'm gonna
for
go get
$5, you can choose who goes onto the hot seat, and you choose the question. Mind you, it has to be not necessarily eMLB related, but cannot be like personal questions.
There we go. There
you go. I love it.
Going across the bottom of the screen.
We're running the ticker.
We're running the ticker. Editing on the fly, everybody.
You know what? I think that's a good idea. I feel like it'll get some engagement, hopefully.
You want to say 20?
And just so y'all know, I feel fucking good right now. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So
Fuck yeah. Let's go. What were you saying, Andrew?
$25. You ask everyone the same question instead of just one
for
person?
25. No, for 20. We'll do 20, so that way it feels like a little bit. Of
a little bit of a discount. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I be moved a little bit up so people can see the pouring?
No. Move your pouring up.
Crown and Coke, a little Crown and Coke action.
Vanilla Coke. I wanted Vanilla Coke Zero because I don't like regular soda, but my Quick Shop didn't have Coke Zero Vanilla, so I just got what I could get.
The views and actions on this podcast do not represent the views and actions of eMLB or the commissioner, even though he's probably sitting here laughing.
Or the Twitch channel that this is being streamed on.
I honestly doubt he's watching.
Did we still have the Broadcast Buddies Twitch channel we could have gone to?
No, it's it was Joe's on the Pros.
Oh, it was Joe's on the Pros.
Yeah, we have that.
Why do I get to be the one who?
Hey, how are we gonna know if someone donates?
With all the fucking stuff that's going on there.
Oh my!
All you can just see is like just the bit of my head.
Hey, I just had this realization. How are we gonna see if someone donates?
Good question. Even better.
Honestly.
I think
never look better.
Here, Brenden, turn your name tag off. That'll help.
How do I do that?
I
don't think you can. I think you have to have a name tag.
Or here, hold on.
Everyone knows who we are.
So if you tell us, so here's what we'll do, because we don't exactly have a way. If you tell us you donate, we'll just look to make sure that it looks semi updated. We'll take people's word for it, I guess.
Yeah, it'll update right away, right? I mean, if we just pull up the link on our own.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Denver's reporting $5 from Cody.
Oh, we've got already our first
on. I just can't hear him. Give me a second. I'm trying to get Brenden from outside of behind the Tiltify.
I don't know if there's a way to do it.
We could banish Aiden down there.
If we do it like that,
now we're all banished.
Now we're all banished.
Hold on. Can I rotate
move us
this?
to the top.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure Chad appreciates the lack of an assault on their eyes.
I am not an assault on the eyes. I am a blessing.
Can I put this behind? Oh, here we go.
And the voice are not Minerva.
There we go.
Your audio settings are what's whack.
There we go. That works, right?
We're still down at the. Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Except the tilt. Hold on. Got to bring us down a little bit because the overlay on the stream is covering us up now.
So do we already have a $5 donation?
I didn't see him.
Do we already have a $5 donation?
We do. Yes. We do from Cody. I need to see if
Extreme is here too. Let's fucking go.
Let's go, Extreme.
I need to find the website where I can keep track of these donations.
Martin Bradford, J. Rod Carew, the Banes of My Existence.
One of my favorite lines from a song ever. O.J. Simpson, not a Jew, but guess who is? Hall of Famer Rod Carew. He converted. One of the greatest lines from a song.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, gosh.
All right. While
as someone
Andrew
who
is
does not
editing, I'm
drink
gonna
on
go
a
grab
regular
another drink,
basis-
and I'll be right back, guys.
As someone who does not drink on a regular
I'll be right back.
basis,
Give me 2 seconds.
I'm feeling it immediately.
Now, does this count as Aiden leaving?
Yes, it does.
Yes,
it actually
that's
does.
one.
So
That's
there's
one.
one. Remember, everyone, put your bets in. The line is set at 3.5. So over under.
Way over.
Least.
All right, 218, 236, 68.
Yeah, like I'm bringing up the Tiltify page, but it's not like showing the individual donations that I can find.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
You know what? Honestly, workshopping this live is probably better than you would like to.
Denbrew is saying in the chat that he'll keep count.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey,
And
that's
I'm
why he's
watching.
got the sword on my channel.
Oh, yes, for me. Okay.
I appreciate it, Denver. So
All right, I'm back.
if Cody did donate,
He did.
first of all, I want to be able to hear. Hold on. Audio properties.
Yeah, and it is showing on your. It's showing on the Twitch stream.
Yeah, I see it. It's hard for me to actually read it.
Old man.
Did he ask Cody? Did you ask your question yet?
Got a question?
No, because we in hot seat.
I mean,
Oh,
it
we can do
depends on who he puts on the hot seat.
Oh, okay.
I got a feeling I know who it's gonna be.
Aiden, you're in the hot
Oh
seat.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I knew it was coming. Are you switching it over to the hot seat, or are we just doing it like this?
Hold on. Did he put one in there?
Hasn't put a question yet.
Because Extreme just said read.
Did he put it in like the memo or something of the donation?
I should also mention this is
I can't see
completely
it.
empty stomach.
Oh no,
Oh.
that's why you're feeling it already.
It is
Ooh.
why I'm feeling already. I didn't have time to eat. We set our start time really early.
You
I
said
got
you would
home.
be done by 6. You needed an hour to get home, shower, and eat.
I didn't end up getting to eat.
Sean, where'd you send the question? I don't see anything.
He prioritized drinking.
The donation didn't
What
come
I actually
through.
prioritized was showering. And then I was like, I got out of the shower at 6:54. I was like, we got to do a show in 6 minutes.
Sean's is in his. Sean Paxlier's is in his donation memo.
Well, why can't I see any of them?
That
I don't know where
not-
to see the memos.
I'm curious where Denver's seeing the dollars at.
Well, I see it on our overlay. I see that Cody donated 5. I don't see anything from Sean Paxler.
Do we have the link somewhere that we can see who donated?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm on the Tiltify page for the people that are a part of this, and I'm not seeing anything.
Is it in? Check the other link that Kamish put in. Isn't there? Didn't Kamish put a donation link?
Yeah, like I've gone there and it shows like what the total is, but it doesn't. I can't find where there's like a breakout of the donations.
I found it. I got it.
Okay,
I got
Angie's
it.
got it.
Although Sean, I only see yours for your $10 from 2 days ago. I don't see one now. Cody says Aiden, you're up, but he didn't put an actual question.
yeah, I know he didn't.
So
Hot seat.
I'm not shocked that I'm there.
you
Like, I'm
donated
not
to
shocked that
my donation link. Is this one not working right? The one that's coming from Stream Elements?
Come on, Andrew, get it together here.
Sorry, guys, we're trying to do this on the fly. It's fun though.
I hope I
I
didn't
figure
put
the
the
actual
wrong
start will
donation
be
link.
more like 7:30.
You mean 8:30 Eastern time?
I don't give a shit about Eastern time. Fuck you, Eastern time.
Yeah, it's the fourth.
So,
yeah, the
so
fourth
Sean has
annual.
donated
Yeah.
to fighting kids with cancer.
Fighting kids with cancer. Jesus.
Cancer Kids Fight Club.
First rule about Fight Club: don't talk about Fight Club.
I mean, Sean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm looking at the donation list from this campaign, and Cody's is the only one from this stream so far. But yeah, Cody asked this question. He says, Aiden, how do you feel about the Pirates winning the World Series last season? And how do you feel about your words to me before last season?
I don't think that my words last season were invalid because I believe on the podcast I did say, I hope you make me eat my words. And I went back and looked at it to make sure that that's what I said. And it was indeed what I did say. So I'm glad you made me eat my words. I'm very happy that you won a World Series, and I have no hate towards you. But at the end of the day, we'll see if I predict you to do it again this year. Stay tuned for that.
Will not eat his words, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yum, nom, nom. Eat them words. No, sir. Not going to happen here.
Uh-oh. Did Sean donate to one of my personal donation links?
He might have
All the
donated
IRS.
Oh, no. Where's my...
Get the IRS out here.
move?
Andrew doesn't pay. Andrew takes.
That's the sound of the police.
All right, well, I guess that means I need to make a $5 donation on Sean's behalf.
Did he put his question in the memo?
I don't know where it went. Is it on my PayPal?
Trust me, we know what we're doing.
This is
Good answer. Good answer. says Harrison.
Andrew embezzles.
Yeah, don't use the only link you
That's
all
good.
should use
That's really
is the
good.
one. The only link you all should use is the one that's coming up on the Stream Elements bot, as well as ! charity. That's the only link y'all should be using. Don't use anything else on my stream. Don't subscribe to my channel. Don't donate to my channel. I should have clarified that at the
Where's Ben
beginning. I'm
at?
sorry.
I'm only
So-
doing
so
this
did-
because- I'm only
did-
doing this
did
It
because
went to my
donate?
stream.
I'm
Oh, it went to my Stream Elements.
gonna message Ben and tell him to get the fuck in the stream.
Please do.
I think he was here earlier.
Oh, he was? We saw
Yeah.
Bazard?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Ben!
He got tired of our bullshit.
Wouldn't be the
Yes,
first
it
time.
was! What's up, pals? He said earlier.
Hi, pal.
Hi, pal. Hi, friend.
Hola, amigo. For our multicultural listeners.
Ben! I'm only doing this to myself because you told me to.
You like that line, Tim?
I do.
Brendan's kind of like the Jonah Hill character from Superbad.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, Sean. If I find the $5, I'll be sure to give it back to you, but I can't find it right now. I'm sorry.
All right, so should we hop into these
Yeah,
predictions so we don't
let's
Yeah.
well,
All right,
Sean,
so
let me-
all
let me-
done.
I'll get with
7:30.
I'll get with
Hold
you
on.
later, Sean. I'm sorry.
So let me go over this format here. So here's how we're gonna do it. Each of us at one time, we're gonna pick a team. We'll talk about them for a minute, and each of us will place them. After that, we'll just keep going through. We are gonna take a few short breaks, so that way the podcast pals and broadcast buddies can grab another beverage, use the facilities, whatever needs to happen. All right.
And because Twitch forces me to run ads because I'm still technically an affiliate.
Exactly. So
I mean,
once again,
actually, you
our
don't have
donation.
to, you could deactivate them.
Some of our rewards for donation are below. If you want to ask us a hot seat question, if you want to ask one person a hot seat question, go ahead and donate $5 and you will pick the person and the question. If you want to ask the same question to all of us, donate 20 and all of us will have to answer it. Reminder, it cannot be about their personal life, but anything eMLB or even regular baseball, football related.
I mean, I don't
Who said
mind.
it can't be about personal life. Ask me
Oh, fair
personal
enough.
questions.
But,
All
I'm
the
saying
personal
I would not
questions,
like to answer
I
any
will
personal
answer
life
every
questions.
single one of them.
How-
Ask me anything.
How about we let people ask the question and we have the
And
right
we can say if
to-
it's off limits or not.
Yeah. If
That's
it's
fair.
too personal, we can say it's off
but
limits.
eMLB is my
Nothing's
life.
off limits.
We know, Timothy.
What's
I
up,
would just
Breeze?
I would just like to point out before we get into the predictions. I have to put on record. I hate this format for doing the predictions. It drives me insane.
Why?
What format?
The whole just grab a team out and talk about them and then throw them against the wall.
How
not-
would you prefer to do it?
Hey, we're doing it this way. I just have to.
No.
just have to
How would you
lodge-
prefer to
You don't
do
get
it?
to
I
say
just
that,
have
not
to
say
lodge
your own
my
idea.
complaint.
You don't get to say that, not say your own idea. There's no bad ideas here, just bad people.
You know,
What do you
folks,
got?
that behind the scenes video y'all wanted, you're getting it.
You're getting it right now, ladies and gents.
JR is not usually this upset though.
I know. That's why I was confused. I'm like, buddy.
JR has the best ideas, so he could probably tell us how to do it better.
All right,
Honestly,
so
we-
Sean has his question. He is asking JR, how do you think Jerry Rollins will do in his rookie year for San Francisco?
Jerry Rollins, he's ready. He's got that lefty arm ready to represent the Rollins clan. I say he finishes third in Rookie of the Year voting and is a big addition to that San Francisco staff.
Ooh, who are the two that finish above him?
I don't know. We'll see.
Ooh.
Pay $5 and they'll
Yeah,
come.
pay $5.
Pay $5 and find out.
Actually, yeah, any of us could pay $5 and ask someone else a hot seat question.
That's true.
All right. So who's starting here?
I'm not exactly flush on cash at the moment,
We'll just go across the top. So Andrew, you get to pick the first team.
Oh, I don't want to pick the first team.
Yeah, too bad. Guess what? You're doing it.
but we still haven't heard from JR yet.
What?
We haven't heard JR's proposed alternative to our method.
Oh, do we want to do that first?
I want to get this out of the way.
I want to know what his.
Well, we're gonna
idea
do this
is.
format. I just have to say that I don't like it.
What
Well,
what
we don't
format do you
have to do
propose,
this
sir?
format. That's the thing. We can do
Production
whatever
meetings are
format
usually
makes
funnier
Daddy,
than
like we can do whatever format makes Poppy JR happy.
Yeah,
No,
we'd like to know your format. Do you just
No,
want me to name off a random team as we go here and talk about it, or do you want us to go like division by division?
Here,
What would you
how
prefer?
about I put all the teams on a random pick wheel, and that's how we start.
We'll go with this. This is what we've done. I just
Okay.
wanted to lodge that I don't like it.
All right,
All right,
Andrew, you
I've
pick
got
first.
the team. We're going with the Washington Nationals to start.
Pirate.
And I'll go first since I picked it.
Yep.
So we're looking at NL East here. So Nationals, I think, are starting to lean more towards a rebuild. They had a down season last year, not up to expectations. I mean, they had a few injuries that kind of derailed things early on. I think their time at the top has kind of been over in that they're kind of, I think they're trending towards having to rebuild. I think this is going to be my hot take. I think Juan Soto is traded by the deadline this year. A lot of people thought it might have been happening this last year. I think they end up 6th in the NL East.
I'll go next. I actually think they finished 7th. I think this team has really fallen off, and I hate saying that because I do have a lot of respect for Pirate, and he had really built that team up to be a juggernaut. I mean, that a few years ago, I mean, they were just the perennial top 2 or 3 team in the NL with the lineup and a pitching staff that was kind of good enough to carry along. But I think there, to your point, Andrew, somebody like a Juan Soto or somebody, there probably needs to be some kind of trade to get kind of a new infusion of talent there to really get them to bounce back.
I think you all hit the nail on the head. I think they're a 7th place team. They need to rebuild that farm system. They need to rebuild that major league team. And I really think that Pirate has done a great job so far, but now might be the time to peel back, kill some salary with Juan Soto, and also just allow them to start building back up. You got a great core of CCPs that he has. Why not use them? And why not start to build yourself back up to make another run in 2 to 3 years? Because in my opinion, out of all the divisions, the NL East is the one that is going to be that's not necessarily the worst, but could have, each year could have a different team at the top.
I think you meant to put the Nationals in Aiden's, not mine.
Oh, sorry.
In 7th. That's all right.
I mean, do you
So-
want to put them 7?
Well, I'll let you know in a minute because, like I said, I'm rolling dice.
Oh,
all with
no.
it.
Oh no! While you're doing that, I'm actually going
Oh my
to
God.
amend mine. I'm actually going to amend mine. I'm going to put the Nationals last now that I really think about it and look at the other teams. 7th. Okay.
They're
7th for
seventh.
the Nationals. The
What's that?
dice don't lie.
The dice, no. Dice tell a story.
The dice are just like Shakira's hips. They don't lie.
Oh,
I'll drop the Nationals down 8th because I looked at the rest of the teams in the division. I was like, well, never mind. They're not finishing 6th. You say 4th?
Oh,
I say 4th.
All right, we need your.
I
reading.
think you all are extremely overhyping the Expos, Reds, and Marlins and Mets. I love you, Denver, but your pitching staff is ass. And I love you, JR, but there's 0 depth on that team. And I love Eddie because he's my favorite person, but that roster's an infield and nothing else. And the Expos are still an expansion franchise who honestly don't have that great top talent and were pretty lucky last year. I feel like the NL East is, of all the divisions, maybe the AL East can fall into that category. I don't know. I feel like the NL East has got a massive gap between the top 2 or 3 teams and everybody else. And I just don't think that I don't think the Nationals are great. I think a lot of what you guys said about the team is correct. I just don't think they're that bad either. And 4th in that division, honestly, is not reaching.
All right, so we'll take a pause on this because we do have another donation and hot seat question. This is from Extreme for Brenden. I have Dan Walker winning the Cy Young this year, excluding Martin, close or another year.
You mean like my question is for Brenden. I have Dan Walker winning the Cy Young this year, excluding Martin, close or another year. Like, do I agree? Like, it's either a close vote he wins or it's another year.
That's what it sounds like.
I think Dan Walker and Martin Bradford are the 2 favorites. So if you have Walker and you're excluding Martin, Walker is a runaway favorite in the AL. And screw Houston pitchers. I saw your DM. I'm not even going to talk about your rotation. I'm not even going to talk about your team. All right, Joe Machado, whatever. Right, David Elvis, whatever. Get them both out of here. They don't count.
GTFO.
Get the fuck out. I'm okay. Seriously, though, I do think it's a close vote. I actually really. Now it's on my face. Seriously, though, I think it's close. David Elvis is pretty darn good. But I like that. I like Walker winning. Thank you, Extreme. You're the best.
All right.
I guess I go next.
Yep, you're next. Let me clear out the Nationals.
Let's go to the American League. Let's do the Aaron Silence-led Minnesota Twins. This is a tough one for me, but I'm going to go 5 spot for the Twins. I feel like this division has a real clear 1 through 4, a real clear bottom 2, and the other 2 for me are interchangeable. But I think Aaron is going to find some way to pull it out. She's already building the team the way she likes to see it, like we saw with Tim's Diamondbacks as when Aaron was at the helm over there. And I think this team is going to not surprise a lot of people because the AL West is very top heavy, but I think this team can challenge to be towards 500 under different management than what we saw last year.
I want to go second.
Go for it.
4th.
Ooh.
And here's the thing. I love Aaron. Aaron is the best, but I do feel like there tends to be a lot of reverence when talking about Aaron as a GM, and I'm not here to discuss that angle. I think that on paper right now, the Twins
He froze.
Blink if you need help, Brenden.
See, his take is so bad. He's got to be frozen.
This might be as good as JR's fake freezes.
He's
gone.
There he goes.
That was a frozen cold take right there.
Wow. Yowzas.
Hey, Commission's in the chat. Brendan doing his best Patrick Starr impression.
The dice.
No.
The dice have
Patrick.
Minnesota at 5.
Okay, the dice are getting scary good at this right now.
A, yes. B, is he really? I'm wondering if he's actually rolling it or he's just showing us what we want to see.
Okay, no. Well, then the next few I'll just roll.
No, it's fine. No,
roll it.
There he is. All right.
I guess my internet just decided to take a shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
no.
it's because your take was freezing cold.
No, I think that the Twins roster as it's constructed is slightly better than the Mariners roster. So 4th. But it's kind of a national situation where I think it's just that the division has a lot of top heavy teams, and then you can kind of mix around the rest of them and just like bottom 3, middle 2, top 3.
All right, I'll go next. I'm going to have the Twins actually at 6 because I think there is a team that will do better than the Twins of the bottom 4 of the AL West. I think Aaron is focusing on rebuilding the team the way she wants it to be, and it's going to take a season to get there because and I've had some conversations with Aaron when we've been doing trade talks. There are a lot of players that Aaron would never have had on that roster from the previous regime that she's like, I got a lot of changes that I need to make to try to get it to where I want it to be. And we all know that the previous GM of the Twins was notorious for not caring about defense. And we all know that Aaron is on the opposite side of that. So Aaron's got to flip that around. And I think it's going to take a season to get there.
I should clarify that I still think they win like 76 games.
Even in fourth place?
Yeah. Sorry, heads.
JR, where are you at with this?
I've got them fifth. I have the Twins fifth. I really like the young pitching staff that they have there. I mean, I think that's built to where, that staff could potentially carry them, a little bit higher into fourth, like Brenden said, maybe ahead of the Mariners. I don't know that there's enough offense, to stand up there at this point. There's some young bats there, but I really think, she's put together a pretty good pitching staff. I mean, some of that's carryover from they had a lot of talented young pitching there before that they had to work with. They gave away some of it, as we talked about last year, but there's still a pretty good base of young pitching there that I think bodes well for the future.
Fair enough. Yeah. Tim, you're up. What team are we taking?
Oh, let's go to the NL West and talk about the Padres.
All right, you get to go first.
Second. This is actually what the heck? These actually make sense.
It's like my coin, but better.
I really feel like this team is. I think it's got to be this year, or it's never going to happen for Steve. So, and I've kind of seen some signs where it feels like he's going all in. I hope it pays off. Just not against Arizona when we play. But it's a really good team, and I think that it's now or never for them. I think their pitching is great. I think their hitting is good. I think they can compete against everybody. There's one other team in the National League that I think they're going to have trouble with. And when we get to that part, I will talk about that.
I'm going to take them as my NL West winner. I think this team is just so complete, and I think we can see them add at the deadline because they still have pieces in their farm system that they can add with. And Steve is a great negotiator, and I really think that this team has what it takes. And I would not be shocked if we're calling them the boys of fall and we see them in the Fall Classic. I would not be shocked. That would be, I think that would be something we would all expect from this Padres team.
So we have a breaking news announcement from Commish for everyone who's watching. Everyone needs to get active rosters down to 26 by 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. The Kims of Fall, as Cody said. Yep. All right, so I'm going to agree with Aiden here. I'm going to have the Padres once again winning the NL West. But I am of the same mind as Tim, where it's an all-in situation because we know during the offseason that he was shopping around players like Walker Buehler and Franmil Reyes trying to potentially shed some salary. But obviously he's not just going to sell them for peanuts. He's trying to get value back for those pieces. So that's why we probably haven't seen them moved yet because of that reason. And I think he's looking in the future and seeing he's already paying all of these players over 20 million, over 30 million in a couple of cases, like Tatis, like Reyes, like Buehler. And he's got all of the young stars there that he's going to have to pay eventually. Although I think one of the Kims is on a decent long-term deal. That's pretty reasonable already. But regardless, he's in one of those situations where money is tighter. He doesn't have like the big flexibility of some of the larger budget teams. And I think after this season, he's going to feel that squeeze. But this season, he feels like he still has a chance. And I think he's still in a position to take away the NL West, which is also very competitive. And it's going to come down to the wire just like it did this past season.
So, question for everybody: how much does revenue sharing help the Padres going forward?
Middle.
Help them.
They're a middle team.
Yeah,
Okay.
It won't really affect them that much.
Right.
Well, Steve Kim is in eMLB, my number one daddy, so he's going to be number one in this division too.
And that's all he's going to say.
I mean, come on, like
No further comment needed.
I mean, we all tell JR he's sexiest GM, and that's still true, but like Steve's a close number two.
All right, we're waiting on you, JR. You're the last one.
I don't know what to say about this sometimes.
Still.
So I have the Padres at 2. You know, the lineup is just scary good with the Kims and Tatis and everything. I do feel like, when we're talking about such a small margin of error, I know why Steve did it for money reasons, but I do think trading Mackenzie Gore is going to hurt them a little bit on the starting rotation side. I was happy to trade for him, but I think that could be a little bit of a step back there that could hurt them in the long run.
So I'm sorry, I was getting my dinner delivered. Where did you have the Padres finishing?
2.
All right.
2.
I apologize for everyone. I will try to mute my mic when I'm chewing.
He took 2. He took
All right,
2.
Padres are done. JR, you get to pick your team.
Let's pick. Let's see, the Royals.
Where are they going? Where are they finishing?
I've got the Royals. Let's see.
Minerva. Oh,
number 7 in the AL West. The Kansas City Royals. There's some moves that Minerva made this offseason, signing Matt Chapman, which, and in a lot of ways I can understand, the idea of getting that kind of leader player there to be a little bit of an anchor during this kind of bridge of a rebuild. I think I would have probably done that when I felt like I was maybe a little closer to being competitive, to still have that spot open to play some younger guys and, maybe give some playing time there otherwise. But, there's definitely some guys to be excited about this team, but I just think there's still a little bit of ways from, having the depth of talent up and down to really try to hang with some of those top tier teams in that division.
I don't have much to say about this team. I love you, Minerva, but this team is not yet ready to compete in such a tough AL West, and I don't know when they will be. There's definitely some rebuilding that needs to be done still of that farm system and of the big league team. I've got them 7th.
Yeah, I think this is the start of something good. And the survey says my knuckles. What does it say? 8th.
8th.
Oh, he's not just doing random chance.
No, that's what came up.
He's putting his thumb on the scale.
Okay. All right, Brainiac, you caught me. No, I like the team. I would probably put them at 6th myself, but the dice have spoken.
I have them at 6th as well. And like in this division, I mentioned that the Twins are like a 76 kind of win team, maybe like 78 on the high end. The Royals are like a 74 and 88 team in my mind. Like that's definitely a step up. And I think that's because they have like a decent amount of they have like a decent floor because of the veterans on the roster. But it's not a team that you're going to want to it's not a team that you're going to worry about. The trade with St. Louis actually brought in quite a few decent arms to the roster. And again, it's nothing that you're going to want to write home about, but I do feel like I do feel like long term that's actually a smart trade to have made because they're guys who they're going to control for a little bit.
Yeah, they're definitely heading in the right direction.
All right, so this is where people are probably going to be surprising me. I actually have them finishing 5th. And it might be my own bias for the pitching that I did send over to them.
Probably.
Which probably shouldn't say a lot considering how my pitching did last year. But I'll be honest. I think there's such a huge gap between the top AL West teams and the bottom AL West teams. I just think the Royals actually have a chance to match up well against the bottom AL West teams and be able to pull out more wins. It's going to be very close between the Royals and Twins. I could easily flip-flop them. I have Twins and Royals 5 and 6. I could go either side of that.
I want to say there is no greater bias in eMLB than Andrew towards his own players.
And yet I still trade a bunch of them.
Except for Steve to the Kims.
That's not really a bias.
Well,
that's not really a bias. That's a law of nature.
That's a law of nature.
That is inevitable.
It is.
Brenden.
Inevitable. It's my turn to pick a team. Ooh,
By the way,
boy.
IRL, Michael Lorenzen just threw a no-hitter.
Oh, he actually did it? He finished it?
Good for him.
Wow.
Mikey Biceps, baby. Two-way stud formerly of your Cincinnati Reds.
Philadelphia wins the trade deadline, question mark?
Mikey Biceps, baby.
Thanks for doing that after you left the Tigers there, Michael. Appreciate it.
All right. I'm going to pick a team in the broadcast booth, and let's go with the Reds.
And
Who?
you're first.
The
Who?
Reds. Now, seventh. Nah,
Just do it.
Sixth.
Just do it.
I like the rotation a lot, actually, and increasingly so. I think Jimmy Hernandez and Gore are fantastic ads, and obviously I don't know how this season's going to go, and things could change, and like obviously new players coming in, but like Potts, Hernandez, Gore, great top of the rotation. Outside of Trey Griffey, there's and I do like Robert Hazel. I don't really like any hitter on this team, which is really funny for a team that plays in an offensive ballpark to underperform as much as they did the last couple, like last year for a lot of these guys who were still on the roster. I think that on this team, the strongest unit is the pitching, and they still play at a pitcher's park or a hitter's park. So 6. JR, immediately refute me, please.
I am choosing to be on the optimistic side of what could happen. I think with this team, I have myself finishing 4th, with similar to what you were talking about. I do think that the pitching staff is much improved, not just in the rotation, but I like some of the veterans I was able to add to the bullpen in Festa and Zach Houston. I think those guys can come in and kind of stabilize the bullpen a little bit as well. Andy Glasser and DaCosta have both been pretty reliable back there as well. So I think there's a lot more reliability in the bullpen than in the last few years. And I'm kind of like you. The offense is the part that I worry about. I think there's the potential for, guys like Juan Alzagray, Dylan Humphrey, some of those guys to step up a little bit and hit better and maybe even be helped a little bit by the ballpark. So on the optimistic side of some of those guys performing better and maybe, performing at the top end of what they're capable of, I think we could get to the 4th place.
Tim, you want to go now?
Yeah.
Where are the Reds finishing?
I think he's done a really good job rebuilding that rotation. 2/5 of it used to belong to Arizona. in the right 2/5, I think. The hitting kind of worries me a little bit too. There's, it's a little removed from what it was last year when I thought that would be the strength of the team. But I think playing in a small ballpark kind of helps that too. It's not as big a glaring weakness when you play in a small ballpark. I would pick them for 5th. The dice say, what is that? 3rd. I'll pick them 3rd.
I like the dice.
I kind of wish I'd done some preparation for this instead of just instead of just picking on the spot.
Oh, so different than last year?
No.
I've got them in 4th. I think this is I was very high on them last year, as many of us were, I feel like. But for me, I just feel like that this team has a lot of strength in the rotation, like we've been saying. If the offense can show up, they can move into the top 3. But for me, until they prove it to me, they're the top of the bottom part of this division, if that makes any sense.
I guess I'm going to be going against the grain here. I'm sorry, JR. I've actually got you guys finishing 7th. We'll see how that pitching does in your ballpark. Like, you definitely improve the pitching staff, but there's still a question of can it perform? And that was what happened last year. Like, we all thought your team was going to do great, compete for the top of the division, but everyone kind of underperformed. And I could be completely wrong about this, but I think that a couple other teams in that division made more strides to get better. Yeah. So I've got the Reds finishing 7th. Nothing personal. Not at all.
I'm not taking it personal.
That's bulletin board material right there.
Not yet. Wait till the Cardinals pick comes up.
Reds GM.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Cardinals GM writes off Reds before season starts.
I did not have them finishing last.
That's fair. All right, Andrew, you're back.
All right. Well, at this point, we got to go AL East because we haven't touched that yet.
When's our ad break, by the way?
Our ad break is in 5 minutes.
All right, so we'll do one more team and then take a break.
Yep. Let's go. The Yankees.
The Yankees.
Probably the most aggressive team this offseason, taking I want the Yankees to become the Yankees again, the evil empire challenge from Kabish very seriously and almost running out of budget. Thanks to the revenue sharing glitch. They definitely made improvements. That you definitely see improvements around that batting order. Adding Endeavors was a huge get, even though he might be someone who's overpaid. They're really banking on a bounce back season because you just gave $40 million per season to a guy had an under 2 WAR. In terms of the division, I think it definitely helps their position this year compared to last year. And I will have them finishing 4th.
This whole division is making me like, I don't know where to put anybody.
It's only because you're in it.
Right.
You're not wrong. I don't disagree with that sentiment.
I can jump in here. I'm in a similar boat as Andrew. I've got them 4th. I mean, I definitely think that lineup, can potentially score a whole lot of runs. You got Hedges has his CCP. Jackson Hedges there at 2nd. Jules Zana is one of the many great young, or not, I don't know about great yet, but really good young catchers in eMLB, and I think is poised for a big year. Jose Ramirez still can hit pretty decent, even though with him getting up there, getting close to 36 years old in our league. I just don't know that again that the pitching is there for them to really contend with some of the arms that are on some of the other teams. I mean, I know he added Aaron Nola and a couple other guys, Dakota Hudson in there and things. But I just don't think there's quite enough pitching there when you're talking other teams like, with Cleveland having Barboza and Bradford and whatnot, and all the talent on Toronto's team. I just don't know that they can get up any higher than that.
Was Jake from State Farm? That 90s guys covers just hop in, and I think we should acknowledge him because we assigned Jakes. It was Jake Prime, that's Denbrew, not the real Jake, that's Twins 34, and that 90s guy gets to be Jake from State Farm. So,
by the way, after the Yankees, we do have a $20 donation from Sean Paxler, who says we need to talk about the Giants in depth. So that will be our next team once we finish the Yankees.
All right.
And since I decided to steal the spotlight, I will go ahead with the Yankees. I feel like the AL East is in a 3-3-2 kind of bracket. And I do feel like the middle three teams all follow the same prototype of strong lineups with weak pitching. And the Yankees, I'm just going to go ahead and have them split the difference and be fifth. Ditto to everything else said. I don't like where their pitching's at, but of course they're still early in the rebuild. I love Josh's aggressiveness in rebuilding the team. I feel like he is the perfect evil monster to be the head of that team. So, fuck the Yankees.
Fuck the Yankees. They're finishing 8th. No, I'll put them 5th. I think they're yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think they're a good team. Their offense is very scary. But like Brenden said, this is a division where lineups run wild. And how well are some of these aging guys going to do is my question. And then the pitching staff leaves a lot of question marks in my head. But I'll put them 5th.
I'm going to put them 5th as well for the same reason. AL East is a pitching-rich division, and the Yankees aren't, but I see them as the biggest buyers come trade deadline to try to make a move. But I just don't think they're going to be able to compete.
I figured that was the point of getting all those prospects.
Exactly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to run a few ads. Make sure to stay put, stay tuned. When we come back, I get to pick the next team, which we already know who it's going to be. So when we come back, we'll be talking about the NL West's San Francisco Giants. Stay tuned. You're listening to the eMLB preseason preview brought to you by the Broadcast Buddies and the Podcast Pals.
And Jake the Snake.
Is this our hold screen? I felt like that was a good radio segue.
I'll be right back.
I feel like that was a good radio segue. Are you just putting this over Andrew just because?
I don't have anything else.
No, that's fair. That's very fair.
I'm trying to figure out how to go ahead and force the ad to go now.
I shall be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Podcast Pals Broadcast Buddies production of the eMLB preview show. I'm Aiden, the Rays GM, joined alongside by Andrew, the Cardinals GM, and our editor extraordinaire. We've got Tim of the Diamondbacks, JR of the Reds, who will be back shortly, and we got Brenden of the Bash Birds, betterwise known as the Baltimore Orioles. We just wanted to take a second real quick before we hop back in with our next team to let you know what we're doing this for. This is for the Jimmy Fund as a part of eMLB's eMLB and FKN Commission's Streamathon. We're trying to strike out childhood cancer. So make sure you do get your donations in. We do have a few rewards for donating. If you donate $5 during the stream, you get to ask one of us a question in the hot seat. If you give a $20 donation, you get to ask all of us the same question that we get to talk about here. So please make sure you donate as well. There's also goals throughout for you guys. And if there's anything else you'd like to see us do in relation to, just let us know. If you say, hey, if I donate X dollars, what can I get? I'm sure we can come to some agreement with you. We'd love to hear from you guys as well in the Twitch chat, as well as this will be going back up on YouTube as well. Make sure you check out FKN Commish on Twitch for the full lineup and as well in the Discord of the eMLB community. Make sure to check that out for the full lineup of streams that'll be happening as a part of this eMLB Streamathon and the opening day festivities. for the eMLB 2028 season. Now, with that out of the way, with all the ads paid, with bills paid and mouths fed, and also hopefully striking out childhood cancer, we're back. I get to pick the next team, which we got a donation.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Hold on. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
I'm raising my hand so I can speak.
Yes. Yes.
I would like to point out that we are the Bashbirds. We are the Baltimore Orioles, and we are not suspending our play-by-play announcer for bullshit reasons because our owner is a megalomaniac piece of shit asshole.
No, take away the parental advisory content. That is good content. That is good content.
Like, why are the why, Mr. Angelos, must you squander all of your goodwill that you have earned?
That's a great question.
Okay, carry on.
But
also to JR, $25.
$25.
He said how much for a tequila shot, but you got to pay $25 of that to me too.
25 for a tequila shot, ladies and gentlemen.
That's gonna hurt me, and I'll be honest with you. For cancer, I'll do a lot of things, but that I'm not sure about.
He'll do a lot of things, people.
We'll do a lot of things. So let's hop into it. We got a $20 donation before we took our break by Mr. Sean Paxlayer to talk about the San Francisco Giants.
The Gigantes.
Los Gigantes de San Francisco for our multicultural viewers. So I will start us off here. And to me, they are a fourth place team. This NL West has a lot of talent. Last year, the Giants took a step back, production-wise.
I would say more than a step, but yeah.
But that's the easiest way to describe it. But for me, this team has all the pieces there, but the question is, will they be able to perform? I think we saw a lot of underperforming teams across the MLB last year. The Reds probably being one of them. The Rays definitely being one of them. I'd say even Baltimore being one of them. But the fact of the matter is that this team, when you have Jandy Ronson and Ethan and Cam Candela, and you made moves for Kirilloff, and you got James LeBlanc, this team is a good team on paper. The question is can they execute? And to me, they'll be in the wild card hunt, but I don't know if they'll be. I think they'll make the playoffs, but they're going to struggle in this division. And to me, they're a fourth place team.
Sorry, people are being really immature in the chat right now.
What happened? I was being good and giving what he wanted.
Flash us, JR, for cancer. Do it for the kids.
How much was donated to have him?
No, nothing was donated yet. No, I just denied Brenden from being able to talk in the chat when
I'm letting you know right now that Ben is responsible for this. This is all can be laid at his feet.
So in everything said, I think they're a fourth place team. I'm sorry. I think they're a fourth place team, but I think at the end of the day, they can finish as high as second in this division, but they could also finish as low as sixth in this division.
So I'm going to go right after you because I disagree with some of the stuff that you said about the Giants. Their performance was definitely under where they should have been last year, and you can expect to see some of their players get back to the form that they're supposed to be. So they're not going to finish near the bottom of the division this year, but I don't trust their offense outside of Michael Sean Kane and the catcher Candela. I can't remember. I think it's Cam that's behind the plate.
Cam.
Yeah.
Cam.
Yeah, I don't trust their offense outside of those two, and I think they took a step back. They traded away Hoxie, who was the third head of that three-headed monster in their rotation. So they're going to take a slight step back in the rotation. I mean, when you have a rotation led by Jandy Ronson and Ethan Candela, it's not going to be that big of a difference. But I think Hoxie, the way he pitched 2 years ago, they're going to miss that for sure. I don't think they'll get as far back up as fourth. And I just realized I put this in Tim's again. Sorry. And I will have the Giants finishing fifth.
I have the Giants finishing third. I think a lot of that last year was an aberration and just When it starts going bad, it just never came back up. I think they have a better time of it. I think what really comes down to is they get that LeBlanc guy at second base under control. And, you know, they've got some captains on that team that will keep him straight. That'll make for a better season.
That LeBlanc guy's a firecracker.
I agree. You know what? There's a lot of egos in the eMLB, and it can be argued that there's no ego greater than that of that second baseman. If he can bring it down, that team will be elevated to greater heights. Diva.
So where are you putting them?
Diva.
So where are you putting them?
Today, Junior.
Fourth.
You need to borrow this?
Oh my God, wait. Fourth. I still think that this roster has massive holes and is extremely top heavy. No further analysis required. I do love you, Mike, though, and I really hope you make the playoffs. Because like having that, I want to see a Jandy versus Danny in the playoffs.
I would like to see that.
Jandy. I have the Giants finishing fourth, and I think every other NL playoff team will be begging and pleading for the Giants not to make it in as a wild card, because by the end of the season, they will have the best rotation in the National League with Jandy, with Candela, with Jerry Rollins, who is going to be a great rookie this year. And I have a feeling is going to see some boosting along the way throughout the season to improve himself.
Jerry Rollins on steroids confirmed.
He's a hard worker.
He eats a well-balanced breakfast.
He eats a well-balanced breakfast. He likes Cheetos.
He has his Wheaties every morning.
Yeah, Wheaties.
I heard he's been seen at local 7-Elevens frequenting the cherry Slurpees. Can we confirm that?
Neither confirm nor deny, but taquitos are really good. I will say, so oh my God.
I was trying to keep the cat from doing just what he was just exactly what ended up happening. I saw it coming. I saw disaster coming before it happened.
Fluffy Kitty Ninja strike.
Fluffy Kitty Ninja strike again. They do assassinate, and I need to.
And that's the hard-hitting analysis you're here for.
Hey, that hit pretty hard.
Oh, that was fantastic.
That was awesome.
Back to our regular schedule program.
Down goes Brenden.
Down goes Brenden.
Kitty is a Giants fan.
Yeah,
Kitty's a
clearly that black pussy cat.
You know what? All I'm saying is that black pussy trying to mess up aspects of my life is not a one-off occurrence. So.
I
hate that this is on my channel now.
Yes! Let's say it all on Andrew's Twitch channel.
Leroy Jenkins.
Whatever happened to that channel?
Whatever happened to predictabilities? The Milkman, the Paperboy, Evening TV.
What?
Saka, can you come over here, please, and not be back behind the screen? I don't trust you.
Okay, are we moving on to the next team?
We're not moving on. I have derailed this.
All right, do I pick a team since we did the Giants?
You didn't lose your pick. You still get to pick one.
Okay. Let's do Les Expos de Montreal.
Ooh. Well, you picked them. You tell us.
I am going to go ahead and put them as my 6th place team in the NL East. They're still an expansion franchise, and they've got a lot of things to do, and I think they performed well last year, better than I expected. However, this team still has a lot of holes and is 2 to 3 years away from competing in this division. I think they take another step forward, but I still don't think they're there yet to start trying to break into the top 4.
Are you reading a prepared statement? It just looks like you're reading something off of a piece of paper.
No, so I have 2 screens going right now. So I have like no.
So
that was
yes,
it.
yes, you are. That was a prepared statement.
No, it wasn't. I don't have anything written down on there. I'm literally just looking at OOTP in the other screen, looking at the teams.
Yes, Chat GPT.
Chat GPT writes his summaries confirmed. He's cheating on the podcast like a high schooler cheats on his English paper.
Hey, that was never proven. Oh, nothing.
Oh, whoops.
Nothing. Sorry.
All right, Tim, where are the Expos finishing?
I also have them at 6th. This is the core of a really good team. Just needs a couple more years. I mean, the thing that we're going to see with them and Portland, I think, is the buildup of the minor leagues. It's going to take a couple of drafts before there's the talent level in the minor leagues that a lot of the other teams in the eMLB have. And I think it's just going to hurt them just in terms of overall depth. But really good put together team. I put them at 6th.
Last.
Woo-hoo.
Someone's got to do it.
All right, I've got them. It's between 5th and 6th. I'll buck the trend. I'll go 5th. I don't really have much more to say. I just think that GT's doing a really good job with the expansion franchise. And it's also a reflection of what I think is going to happen in the NL East with the bottom tier teams. Now, I feel like there's not going to be a lot of difference between 5th place and 8th place. So it could easily flip around, but I think the Expos have something going for them this year.
I should say that I like what he's doing with the team as an organization for their future. I just think that they're the least talented team in the division currently.
Yeah, I have them 8th also, but it's partly the reason, like Andrew said, I honestly, these bottom kind of 5 teams, bottom 5 teams, even including my team, I think there's a lot of different orders you could put them in. I think I ended up, with Montreal at the bottom, just that lineup. I mean, there's just not much to that lineup at all. I mean, you take a look at those bats. There really is nothing there other than Colton Welker. And, I'm not the biggest Colton Welker fan in the world, but I love Jorge Allman. I think he's one of the best young pitchers in the game. Joe Olney, who was a great pick in the expansion draft, could get a chance to be a starter this year. I hope he gets a chance because I think he could be really good. So there's definitely.
Is it Justin Barber, the CCP that they had, who played first base, who absolutely mashed for them last year?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was hitting swamp donkeys.
Yeah, swamp donkeys.
Yeah, I mean he had 41 homers. He also just had 2 WAR. I mean, it's not the greatest player in the world. But I think there's some pitching there to build on. Just that lineup just doesn't scare me whatsoever at this point. So I think that kind of puts them at the bottom.
It puts a hard ceiling on how good this team can be right now.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Timothy, your turn. Timothy.
By the way, I'm just going to jump in here because that 90s guy, I appreciate the 100 bits, but I want anything that's going towards this stream to go towards the fundraiser. Don't put anything towards me. I don't regularly stream, so this is nothing for me. We're just using this as an avenue because the YouTube channel wouldn't let us stream. So,
make sure to do exclamation point donate to get the right link to donate.
No, exclamation point charity.
Sorry, exclamation point charity. Not
don't donate to any of my stuff, please. I don't want it.
Exclamation point charity. All right, Tim.
Okay, thank you, 90s guy.
Go ahead.
All right, let's get the other opening day team out here. Boston, the Red Sox. I think this team is going to struggle to compete in a major way. I think their pitching I think we all kind of joked about how they did nothing and got better in the pitching staff. And I think that's going to come back to bite them. I also know that, their issues as far as, the budget and really not a lot of movement that they can make. With the rest of this division on the way up, I have them at 7th.
I'll hop in here. I have them at 7th as well. I feel like Tim hit the nail on the head. The rest of the division is going up. Boston is trending downward towards a full and complete rebuild.
Same for me. I really don't have much to add. I have them at 7th for much of the same.
Angie, you go. I want to go last.
7. Y'all stole it from me. But
all right. As the biggest Boston hater in this group, the person who would love nothing more than to watch a Boston team finish in 7th place, 4th. And here's why. I mentioned earlier the AL East is very heavy on teams that are lineup heavy, pitching weak. And that is very much true for Boston. And I don't think Boston is going to be nearly as good as they were last year because this lineup is aging and this lineup is losing pieces and they haven't really added to it. I think they're getting worse. And I really do think the Yankees and Red Sox can be flipped. That said, I do think they're better than the other two teams that I'm going to put below them.
I got a feeling I know at least one of them.
Yes, you do.
I'm flipping back and forth between 7th and 6th.
And really, I do feel like 4 through 6 and the AL East are going to be separated by like 2 games.
Well, to be fair, Andrew, if you put the Red Sox at 6, you can put both the Orioles and Rays at 7 and 8.
It would have been one of the two if I put below them.
I also do think I wish it'd be interesting to see a full season of everybody in this everybody in the bullpen playing up to potential. A good bullpen can only make up for so much of a terrible rotation, but he does have a lot of talent in the bullpen. They don't ever show it, but he has a lot.
I'll keep him at 7.
That makes sense.
All right, is it JI's turn to pick?
It's Junior's time.
Let's go with the team who I will go ahead and say will have the best record in eMLB this season and will finish first in the American League West, and that is the Los Angeles Angels of Tom Falzone.
Ooh, let's go, baby!
All right.
I knew we were going to get spicy when he didn't just come right out and say the team.
So, real quick, we will have a question coming in from Ben. Funny enough, it happened at the same time you picked the Angels to win the division, because he just did put a $25 dono in. Let's see if he attached the question to his donation. All right, and it's a question for everyone. Who hits 90 losses first, Tampa Bay or Baltimore?
Neither.
Both.
70
at the same time during the
same day.
72
same day.
86.
I don't think Baltimore hits 90, but I do think Tampa will. Sorry.
I'm actually agreeing with JR. That was my instinct. If either of the two hit 90 losses, it would be Tampa. So thank you, Ben, for your donation. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ben.
Ben, with your spice and your fire that you've thrown onto our organization here, you have helped to fight cancer in kids. God bless you, sir.
I like how Sean Paxler just replied with Kansas City. All right. Back on the all right, JR, explain yourself.
All right, Angels. Tom, this is Tom's year. It's finally time. He added Ronald Acuna. He's got a pitching staff that's still really good. He's got Barry Allen getting better. He's got Sean Thornton getting better. Mike Trout's still a hell of a son of a bitch of a player. I think he's bringing it all together. He's got his shortstop, Tom Kazansky, coming in, who's at least going to replace Anderson Simmons while he's hurt and, could be either remain a starter or be kind of a super sub on that team. I just think all the pieces are there. He's still got a deep bullpen with, Sir Anthony Dominguez and Helsley and AJ Minter, and he even has Cal Maduro in the bullpen, who could be a starting pitcher on a lot of teams. I just think the mix is there. The timing is right. The Angels have their year.
I will second the motion. I'm putting them at the top of the AL West as well. I will quote Brenden from an earlier podcast. Tom went all in this offseason, and you can definitely see it. His team got markedly better, and he was already a top team before then. Now he did have to move his top prospect in order to get Acuna, but I think when you already have a pitching staff with Clisby, Jim, Briggs, you have that depth. You can afford to move someone like Allenson, and he used it to improve his offense in a big way. And he made sure he's going to keep that offense by already extending Acuna for another, six seasons, something like that.
That was 8.
Maybe it was 8. Which was, spoiler alert, not something I was going to be willing to give him, which is why I wanted to move him. So
it was
8. Kudos to Tom for the moves he made this offseason. I think it does propel him past the juggernaut Astros this year. Sorry,
I'd like to go last on this one, if you don't mind.
I'm also going to go number 1, but much like how I just said, the middle three teams in the AL East are going to be separated by 2 games. Ditto for the top 3 teams in the AL West. That said,
that's fair.
I have been pounding the table for Tom because he has finally done what I think everyone who's in a competitive spot can do, and other teams do. And I'm not saying that everyone does, but Tom very much has had a long game approach all the time. He will not. He very rarely will push all of his chips in, and I love that he's finally got fed up with the results of not pushing all your chips in, and he pushed all of said chips in on this season, and it's going to pay off for him. 109 wins, just totally, beat the crap out of the bottom teams of that division.
I can't believe we're going to put this out in the universe, but watch this be the Giants of this season.
I mean, honestly,
I don't think so. I
don't think it's going to happen, but I mean, crazy.
If any team will be the Giants of this season, it could be Baltimore. So
Baltimore's a different team.
LA is showing us
Same
what
colors.
the future is going to be in eMLB, and that is you have to make big moves every year just to not only stay competitive but to have a chance to improve. Angels finish first.
All right, Aiden, it's your turn.
Angels finish 3rd. I think, like Brenden said, they have made a lot of big moves, but for me, the top 3 in this division are interchangeable. And part of me thinks that they could end up number 1, but part of me has learned that you don't bet against Ben, and I will not start betting against Ben now. And so for me, I just think that this division is the hardest division in baseball when it comes to the top 3. That for me, it could be any one of them, but for some reason, I just feel like something's not going to click with the Angels. I can't describe it. It's a feeling, and I'm sorry, Tom. I love what you did this offseason, and I love the team you have. I just don't know if they capitalize this offseason. I don't know if they capitalize this season.
I guess Aiden says it's more than a feeling.
Just don't get hooked.
Feeling.
Just don't get hooked on the feeling.
I'm high on believing.
I may be dreaming.
I think it's my turn.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, I'm going to continue my theme of picking podcast pals. And let's go with the Arizona Cardinals. Oh, my God. Arizona Diamondbacks.
Tyler Murray's going to have a great season this year.
I got my two there confused. Arizona Diamondbacks.
Well, you're first, Brenden.
8th. And comfortably so. I just think that Tim very much is playing the long game, and it's not an insult to him. He kind of has to, and I think that's the right way to rebuild, is to play the long game. And he's not going to be terribly upset at it. It sucks to lose, but I think when you're working towards a bigger picture and a bigger goal, you kind of got to be okay with taking your lumps while you're there. And he'll take his lumps and in search of a brighter future.
Do I need to turn his camera off for a second?
No, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Everything's fine.
I'm fine. Ate the hard way.
That's what she said.
Hey, I rented that once.
It's going to be an interesting year. There are going to be some deals that I'm planning on making at the trade deadline. There are some deals I'm trying to lock in some people now while I can. Thank you, revenue sharing. And it's just going to be a slow build back up. It's going to be more fun for me to watch the minors this year than the major league team.
I think the Diamondbacks are going to finish just like my favorite ESPN channel.
The Ocho?
The Ocho, baby. It's set up too good. I think Tim, you hit the nail on the head. You've got some great talent in the minors, but you're definitely in a retooling phase. Competitive retooling, as we like to call it.
Ooh.
But don't be
We
surprised
suck
if you see.
again.
But don't be surprised if you hear, with the first overall pick in the eMLB 2029 draft, the Arizona Diamondbacks select blank.
Actually, I don't think they're going to have the first overall pick. I have another
think
team
so
finishing
either.
worse.
I would say just don't be
But at
surprised.
least one,
if
right?
that happens.
At least one, yes. I'd say you're picking 2 or 3
They're
because I also have you finishing 8th, and you kind of stole the thing that I was going to say, in that this is the right time to rebuild the way you're rebuilding, because you're about to get an influx of cash with that revenue sharing, and that's going to be very beneficial moving forward. So I think you're playing this really well with the team that you have. You're making the right moves to move forward. It's just not going to really show up on the scoreboard this year.
They just don't want to see me cry again, chat. That's all this is. Tell me the truth, JR.
So I got Tim finishing 8th. But I think what Tim has going for him is he has a couple of pieces, in particular Rob Rasmussen, who, knowing how people in our league love to trade for relief pitchers at the trade deadline, could be somebody that he gets a pretty good haul for when you have the guys in the AL West, the guys in the NL West, doing their battle for arms race there. So I think you set up there with a guy like that you can get a pretty quick return for. Corbin Carroll has a strong year. He's another guy who could be flipped for some talent there, and really be in a position to take a big step forward next season.
All right. Guess it's my turn. What's that?
It wasn't so bad, was it?
Somebody's reading my mind. No,
All right, let's go to the.
Is it your turn or? Oh yeah, it is. Sorry.
It's mine because Brenden picked another buddy. Let's go with the newly named Cleveland Guardians. I think they're a very interesting team. They still have a strong top of their rotation. Actually, they have a pretty solid rotation throughout. They have some pretty big bats. I think that they need a little bit more support from their offense, because they have like a couple of really good hitters and then kind of meh the rest of the way. I think the Guardians, on the strength of their pitching, because they do have a really good pitching staff, I think they end up finishing 3rd in the AL East.
Ditto.
Actually, scratch that. 2nd. I'm putting a 3rd for you,
second.
Ditto
And raise you.
Ditto to his previous.
Cleveland finishes 1st.
Ooh,
wow,
spicy take.
Is it that spicy? Because I agree with you, Tim. I think they're the number one team in the AL East. They are the team to beat. Until I see something from the other team. And here's what I'll say. I love what Sadier is doing over there. I think he adds at the deadline again. And I'll get more into this when we talk about another team. Some of these other teams are either top heavy with they're batting heavy and don't have a whole lot of pitching, or they're young and I don't know what to expect from them. But I think Cleveland, until Cleveland shows me otherwise, they are the team to beat in the AL East. They're repping for the state of Ohio because Cincinnati cannot right now.
You don't think Cleveland's young too?
I think they're young, but they've proven to me that they can win ball games. And they have the right mix of age and talent.
Yeah. I think the pitching is substantial enough to keep them in that division. They had an off year the way the Giants had a down year. If the Giants fell so far and it was just so obvious, Cleveland struggled just as much, and I think they bounced back just like the Giants did.
Also, the
boosts
finally getting in for Bob. The boosts finally being applied for Mr. Bob Royal. That does make a difference.
Yeah, I guess that's the part that Tim mentioned was just the part that confused me about what you were saying, Aiden. To me, that they felt like a disappointing team last year. That was a little bit inconsistent.
They were disappointing, but Sadier has done small things to me. Like I look at everyone's transactions and obviously at the AL East a little closer, but I feel like talking with Sadier, in the past and stuff, he always says, okay, if something's not working, I'm going to figure out how to fix it. And to me, he's probably gone into the back end, done some strategy things, maybe switched up, maybe we see a different switch in the lineup or how he utilizes his pitching staff to the point where, in my opinion, Sadier is a top 5 manager in this league when it comes to the back end of OOTP, and he's going to find a way to get the most out of his players. And we can't forget that they still have Martin Bradford over there.
Yeah.
They've still got Aaron Judge, who had a great year. And I think for me, they are the most complete team in the AL East.
Yeah, but I mean, the other team you're talking about is Toronto, right? I mean, that's who you were comparing them to in terms of a young team or a team that hasn't proven itself.
Yeah, I just don't know what to expect from Toronto yet, and I'll get more into them when we talk about them. But
I guess my point though is that they've proven more than Cleveland has from their hitting perspective for the guys that are there. If you look,
but Cleveland has proved it from the pitching perspective in my head, and that might just be because that's how I see it from the Rays' point of view. But in my opinion, Cleveland is the team to beat right now in this division.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Where did you have them finishing, JR? Sorry,
I haven't finished them second. I mean, I definitely think they can compete for it if things go right. But I mean, I can't in any way, shape, or form call them the team to beat after the season they just had and after the season Toronto had and what Toronto had in the offseason.
I just know I'm a jinx and I'm playing the long game there too.
I mean, Toronto added an MVP candidate in the offseason.
Then with me going next, let me go to Toronto. Let's go to Toronto next.
That works.
I think they're the number 2 team in this division. To me, it's Guardians. It's almost in this division. It's Cleveland 1A, Toronto 1B, and I feel like these two can interchange for me. But right now, I just like the veteran leadership, and I like the Guardians pitching staff just a little bit more than Toronto, and that's what it comes down to me. And I think the fact that you have an ace in the hole in Martin Bradford in Cleveland, and the Blue Jays have a great lineup. That the 1 through 6 in the AL East have a great lineup. The lineups are not anything to question for me at this point. What it comes down to is the pitching, and I think Cleveland's just edge. I think it was a down year for Cleveland, and I think they slightly just edged the Blue Jays, but don't be shocked if the Blue Jays win it, and I would not be shocked if the Blue Jays get in as a wild card. They can make a run to the World Series. This team is primed for playoff contention, and this roster is built to get all the way to October and to get all the way into November if that's how far it goes. This Blue Jays team is made for the playoffs. I just think there could be some bumps in the road with trying to have this entire team gel together. I think they could start off a little slow, and even though team chemistry, we don't know how huge of a role it plays into it, I think that could be part of it leading into it, and that's why I like Cleveland just a little more than Toronto.
So as the other AL East GM, I will hop in. I have Toronto as 1. And I don't think Aiden's analysis is a wrong way to look at it. I think Cleveland 1 through 5 has the best talent-wise rotation in the division. And they also have an extremely top-heavy lineup, but lack depth beyond their top 5 or so hitters. Toronto is fielding the best lineup in the league right now, talent-wise. But their rotation is suspect. Now, I do think their lineup is good enough to make up for most of the gap, and it will win the division. But I feel like they're going to win a lot of games, but struggle in the playoffs due to their pitching. Because they're a team that's going to victimize bad staffs and get victimized by good staffs. That's why they blow through their division, for the most part, their division pretty easily, but they'll struggle against Cleveland and another unnamed team that has a decent rotation. I think Toronto's real good. I think Cleveland's real good. If you put them in a matchup, I take Cleveland. If you put them over the course of the season, I take Toronto.
I just think Toronto is just the clear-cut number one team here, especially for the regular season. I guess for me, I view it totally opposite of Aiden. To me, Cleveland is the team that's maybe more built for the playoffs with their pitching staff being what it is. And Toronto's the team that's more built for the regular season and, you know, could use another top tier starting pitcher to have a little bit better run in the postseason. I mean, go ahead.
You say the Blue Jays are clear cut, and I said the Guardians are clear cut, but I think both of us looking at it, I think it's a lot closer between these top two teams than either of us really see.
I just don't. I mean, that lineup for Toronto being as top heavy it is, when you have, you know, 3 real superstars, you can really even almost put J-Rod Carew in there as another top superstar. I mean, those 4 guys in a lineup together is just crazy. You know, if my CCP can ever stay healthy, you know, he's another, you know, really good bat there to go along with guys like Dalen Lyle. He picked up Adley Rutschman at the catching position. I mean, that lineup is just absurd. And I think the one thing that holds them back potentially a little bit from just really running crazy is the rotation, you know, isn't the greatest in the world. But I can't imagine choosing anybody but the Blue Jays to win the division at this point.
All right, so my turn. Aiden, here's why you're wrong. Number one, you cannot say you have the Guardians as a clear-cut favorite when you called them 1A and 1B. That's not clear-cut. B, we all know that veteran leadership in this league means jack squat. It's all about the young players, the young superstars. Those are the ones that win the ball games and are playing the best in this league. And that's only specific to this league. In other leagues, veteran leadership means something. In this league, it doesn't mean anything. Blue Jays are number one.
I have Blue Jays are number 2.
I am more scared of the Blue Jays lineup than I am of the Guardians pitching staff.
Blue Jays have 3 of the top 5 MVP people at the players at the end of the season.
That's
and they split
really valid.
And they split the vote and
don't
somebody else wins it. Yeah.
Everyone chooses their favorite Toronto Blue Jay, and then someone else is 1 and 2, and they're 3 through 5.
So whose turn is it?
It's Tim's.
Mine?
It is.
Wait, who said Guardians?
I chose Guardians.
Okay, yeah, it's Tim's.
Yeah. All right. Let's go Mariners. I have them finishing 4th. I think it's still that 3 top teams in the West, and Seattle is the best of the rest, sort of thing. They could surprise. I just, you know, if they were to get hot, I mean, with the 3 teams above them, it just feels like, you know, you can go 8 and 2, and one of the 3 of them will also go 8 and 2 during the same stretch, and you just kind of treading water. Just looking at the team and all of that. I mean, God, 2 years ago, I would have thought these guys would have won the series. And pitching, I think, is going to struggle a little bit. So, yeah, 4th.
I also have them in 4th. It's really hard to compete against the top 3 teams in the AL West. It's just a juggernaut over there. And honestly, if you put the Mariners in maybe if you put them in the NL East, they have a chance to finish 1 or 2. Put them in the AL East, maybe 1, 2, or 3. But the stuck in the AL West, it's just really difficult for them to get past those top 3 teams.
What Andrew said.
So I mentioned earlier that Kim would be Steve Kim would be my outside of JR, my second sexiest GM, like my DILF pick. Hetz has got to be pretty close to that, honestly. But
he's just buttering it up for what's coming
I'm
next.
sorry. I like his roster a lot, and I did probably say I didn't probably mean it that I like the Twins more. That the Twins are better constructed. I like the way the Twins are constructed more than the Mariners. The Mariners are 5th for me, but it's like by a game, or maybe even tied. Like high 70s win total. And it's only because the Mariners are cursed to forever be mediocre.
This isn't real life Mariners now. This is eMLB Mariners.
Hey, real life Mariners have the best record since July 1st in Major League Baseball. And Emerson Hancock is making his debut, and I just now remembered that and turned the game on. So you guys already have had like 60% of my attention because 40% of it was spent being a little messed up, and now you're losing a further 20% to the game. So
quick,
JR.
Somebody throw a spreadsheet in front of him so he'll sober up.
It's right here.
That spreadsheet's not interesting. Show me numbers.
How much attention is that? How much attention is that black pussy cat getting?
The cat's not getting very much, but some of the other bits getting quite a bit.
All right, JR, where's Seattle finishing?
Seattle's going to finish in 3rd place.
Ooh.
That's
No,
nice.
I'm just kidding. They're going to finish in 4th place.
Wow.
No balls.
I can't. I want to pick Hetz to be in 3rd place because I love some of the players on that team. He knows I've tried to trade for like half of his roster, and we just can never quite come to a big trade deal. But maybe when it's time for Trey Griffey to go to Seattle, maybe he'll work something out there. But
Hey, Andrew, when are we due for another ad break?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay.
Hold it.
Hold up.
All right, JR, your team pick.
All right, let's see. Let's go with let's say.
By the way, I just want to point out that Danny Smith Jr. just gifted a sub to Brenden from my channel.
That's why I did the heart earlier.
So what does Brenden get? Because he gets a half boost from Andrew Pays.
I ain't giving him my boost.
Hey,
No.
no.
Dan Walker gets a boost in Super Mega Baseball this
Is
week.
it?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Is that like a handy?
Oh no.
I mean, I could use that.
Yowzers.
I mean, I'll be seeing Andrew here in a couple weeks. So
This has been eMLB's Sexy Play of the Day.
Waka waka.
Let's stay in the Pacific time zone and let's go with the Los Angeles Dodgers in the NL West. And I have them finishing in third place in the NL West. I think, you take a look at some moves they made. Holland is, moving some pieces around this offseason. That big LaRon Smith trade with Aiden there to pick up Giesler, to have him be a big part of his rotation there. He also picked up Fraizer Perez in free agency, coming off a big year. So I think he's done some good there. And, again, the lineup still has, Rob Deere Jr., who's getting better and better. You got D-Mac. I think that, he's another guy who wouldn't be surprised to see him make another move in season to give that lineup an extra boost as well. So I see them going third there.
The Dodgers make my pick of Giants at 4 very hard for me to stomach, because I really don't want to be bound to having the Giants at 4. But I'm going to go ahead and I reserve the right to switch this later. Dodgers at 5.
Who they didn't make the playoffs last year, right? Cardinals did, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It was down
So
to Cardinals
so
and
the Dodgers
Dodgers for the
turn
last
this year.
wild card spot. Yeah, exactly. We're going
Yeah,
back and
yeah.
forth.
So it's the Dodgers' turn. It's their turn, so they finish 4. Everything
where you're putting
JR
them?
said, yes.
Okay.
Everything JR said. And let's be fair. Chris is the National League version of Aaron. I don't doubt that he is a wizard, but I can make my own team lose without his help. Please and thank you. I think we all can.
All right. I have the Dodgers finishing third in the division this year. For all the reasons you guys said, I just have them finishing one place better, the same as JR. One place better than Tim, 2 places better than Brenden.
Third, because ditto.
Emerson Hancock got here for the Mariners wearing a way too big, like extra large jersey, looking like a little kid wearing his dad's jersey right now. Like, it's just like super baggy. I don't get it. Like, maybe the equipment manager couldn't find the right size.
I thought he played for the Twins. What are you talking about?
In real life, he's a Mariner.
All right. Well, I think at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run the ad.
I think we all
early.
need a refresh. I think we need to step away for a second. And
maybe I do my pick, and then we can refresh, start over at 8. All right, Andrew.
Well, okay. We have 6 minutes. Go for it.
Speed run.
Okay, speed run. I'm going to pick another one of the podcast pals because that's my theme, and we're going to go with the Tampa Bay Rays. And I have the Rays at 6, 2 games behind the Red Sox, 74 and 88 times team. Because
what about the Yankees? They're in between the Red Sox and the Rays on your list.
Yeah, I said 2 games behind the Red Sox.
So 1 game behind the Yankees?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't question
me. Fair enough. Don't question me.
I really do like, and by my record was just kind of a throw out there. I really do feel like these middle 3 teams can be kind of lumped around in any kind of order. I actually love the LaRon Smith deal, like in terms of getting LaRon Smith. I think that this team has another team, AL East team that has a great lineup, but this team has squandered a lot of its pitching depth and now no longer has a elite rotation that it once had. And I feel like this rotation is going to get absolutely victimized by this division. And that is the problem with the Rays team as it's currently constructed.
Victimized.
Like it's going to be filing assault charges.
Ouch.
But not quite butt fucked, right?
No. This is not. This is not Ben. What is it that Harris said?
I'm gonna mute this.
This is not a predatory trade or anything, right? This is not a predatory trade by trading for someone not on the trade block.
Anyway,
I'm just picturing Harold Reynolds on MLB on MLB Network saying "but fuck."
Yeah, Aiden's not gonna get. No, that's the White Sox.
Well, that was the worst trade of the deadline. They just butt fucked him.
I'm gonna
Matt
turn my
Becerra
channel
going.
into mature audiences only. Gee whiz.
By the way, Aiden, I know you're going to refute
It's
me,
10 o'clock.
but I also know you kind of think that I'm right.
All right, well, let's
I
let
think-
everyone else talk before he does, because he looks like he's about to go on a soapbox journey. I also have I have them finishing 5th. Not that much better than where Brenden has them, but I think talent-wise, their roster took a step back. I mean, adding Laurent Smith definitely helps their offense, which was kind of lacking last year, but I don't think it should have been at the expense of Giesler. And I think you got some good pieces back in terms of prospects, but they're not contributing to the MLB level right now. I think you kind of move back into the middle of the pack in the AL East.
Yeah, I think they took a step back for this year to have a chance to make a significant move in years to come. And I think that's a wise play, especially with the Yankees probably going to be dominating the scene for a bit. It's going to work there just like in real life baseball. You know, Tampa will come in and they will steal their playoff spots and just make a lot of people uncomfortable. But this year, I have them at 6th.
Junior, it's yours. You're up.
Yeah, I've got him at 5th. You know, I do think that, you know, there's still some good star power there that should be able to carry Tampa a little bit. You know, I think, you know, the Tyler Glasnow signing was a good one that allows him to kind of come in and then prove himself a little bit. No long commitment there. Still a talented guy. You know, Ben Spears, still a great pitcher. I think there's still some guys there like Contreras and Janssen Guerrero who still can be really solid pitchers, whether it's, you know, in that rotation or filling out the staff. I think in a lot of ways, honestly, I think it comes down to, you know, what kind of years do guys like Wander Franco, Fritz Flaherty, you know, guys who've been a little bit inconsistent but have a lot of talent, you know, are they able to bounce back and, you know, play up to their skill set or not? If they are, you know, this is a team that could really surprise some people. And if they don't, then, you know, they're in that kind of bottom half of the division.
All right, he's been over there writing a revenge breakup song. So let's hear it.
He's been giving us the stink eye this whole conversation.
I don't think what you guys are saying is wrong. I actually think it's quite accurate. You definitely understood my mindset with, you know, I feel like right now I need to get back to what the Rays are in real life, just with the budget. I'm hoping with the revenue sharing, it's going to help me a little bit.
1 minute to add.
I'm the only team in the red right now. Huh?
1 minute to add.
Okay. But for me, I feel like this team is a little better than you all are expecting, plus a few other things that I have in the pipeline. Obviously, you don't know what's behind the scenes and what kind of roster moves I'm making and things like that. I think the Mayhall injury hurts a little bit, same with the Dudley injury to start the season. But I do think that Smith and Pearson are going to be a really good combo. When Dudley comes back, he's going to be good. I've also worked on my defense a little bit to try and up that where it was struggling last year in the first half of the season. I think my pitching rotation definitely took a slight step back losing Giesler. But I think there are a lot of things to be positive about and a lot of young guys who will be coming up soon. Matthew Garza, you know, hopefully Espinoza can take a step forward and things like that. So I've got him finishing 4th.
All right, and with that, we are going to take another ad break. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. Bye.
And Jared's still not here.
And that's Aiden leaving twice.
Well, actually,
There he is. He's back. Our king has returned to us. I'm no longer drinking, by the way, so I'm having myself a nice, wonderful Mexican Coke. I need to stop.
By the way, for all you professional wrestling fans, I'm not a huge AEW guy, but MJF might have just cut the coldest line I've ever heard to Adam Cole. He went, "You're so pale. If this was the 80s, Hulk Hogan would have snorted you already."
Oh, you gotta love MJF.
All right,
MJF
Andrew,
is great. What a
get
heel.
us rolling.
All right, Andrew.
We
You're
have
up.
been rolling. The entire stream heard that.
I know.
Oh,
Good.
Man. Get us started.
I don't remember who picked.
Brenden
I
picked
did.
me.
You did? Oh, so that's why you're telling. Okay, got it. I'm following now. All right, where are we going next? We need to go back to the NL East. They're a little behind on the. How about the Atlanta Braves? Braves are probably one of the harder teams to predict for me because I don't really know. Like, they didn't really do that much this offseason, did they? Thanks for the boss battle, Jared.
Let's make balls.
So there's really not a lot that excites me about the Braves. They did really well last year. I think they were one of the surprise teams last year. I think they keep that momentum going, but I'd like to see them make some moves at the deadline to boost their playoff odds and their playoff performance. I do have them finishing third in the NL East.
Y'all want to go?
I guess I can go next.
I'll go because I guess
This team is the second place team in the NL East. I really love their roster, mostly because it was partially, funded by moi. But I also really like their roster. It's a good roster, and I think at the end of the day, the NL East is weak enough where they can break into that top. They're definitely in that top three, and for me, the top three is a coin flip.
So I didn't like. I originally put JR as 7 before bumping him to 6, and I do reserve the right, much like with the Giants and Dodgers, to switch these later. But for now, Braves 7. I like the lineup a lot.
Wait. You said the Braves 7?
Yeah. I feel like they've got quite a lot of offensive talent, and I do like that a lot. I also think their pitching is talent-wise kind of at best mid, at worst terrible, and didn't really get any better. And they also don't have Antonio Alvarez for the first 3 months of the season. And I kind of feel like this team was super lucky last year, and all that juju that went their way last year is going to go against them this year.
I hope we get a game of the day soon where Kenny's on there just so we can hear Kamish go, Jacques Landry.
Yeah. I mean, we will have opening day, or not opening day, but the second day.
I have Atlanta 4th. I do like the team. I do have questions about the pitching. So basically a little bit of what everybody has said.
Yeah, I have them 5th. I just, to me, there's just a lot of meh on this team. It seems like, there's, some young talent there, but there's also some kind of older aging guys that are, just kind of flatlining a little bit. I think in a stronger division, I would, I can see why Brenden has him 7th. I mean, I just, there's not a whole lot to get excited about there. I think there's a couple of divisions where I'd be tempted almost to pick him 8th, to be honest. But so I think they outlast a couple of teams here, but there's just not much there to get excited about for me.
This is why I hate going first, because y'all make good points and make me want to change my mind. I dropped them the 4th.
my excited
Drop him
reaction.
to 3rd for me, please, Andrew. Drop him to 3rd.
Emerson Hancock dives for a grounder, snags it, and shovel passes it to 1st. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. That's some Greg Maddux level fielding right there.
Hell yeah.
I deserve to be
right.
excited about my baseball team.
We were talking off the air, or I was talking with JR and Tim, but this next team, let me talk to you about the Baltimore Orioles. This Baltimore Orioles team, who the fuck manages them? They absolutely suck. I'm sorry. I'm kidding.
I mean, I don't really disagree.
I mean, they struggle. I think their pitching staff has some question marks for me, but less question marks than the Tampa Bay Rays. Therefore, they're the 3rd place team. Yeah.
I have them third also, just not as flamboyantly as Aiden did. It kind of amazes me to lose Knight and to lose the cornerstone of the infield in Anthony Medrano. And
Anybody but Medrano!
And the fact that we're still talking about them for a potential playoff spot. Mind blown.
Who's talking about them for a potential playoff spot?
They finish under 500, though.
In third place?
Yes. I think the AL East sucks that bad this year.
Well, I also have them finishing third, but they don't make the playoffs. Good pitching. Offense, That's basically my evaluation.
Yeah, pretty similar for me. I've got them in third. I think this is a team that, nobody who's a contender in the AL wants to see sneak into the playoffs just because of the potential of some of those starting pitchers to really be able to take a team on a run. I think we can't discount the fact that, Brennan's getting Buster Bluth back at third base, really a star player who missed basically all of last season.
Might be able to make up for Medrano.
Anybody but Medrano. Brenden?
This is the exact kind of expectations that I wanted my team to have this year. I feel so much better about this because now I can beat them.
Try.
There's clearly a hole in my predictions where the Orioles slot in. You can go ahead and slide them in there for 2.
Seventh, wow.
Second in the division. I have myself at second in the division. I'm not a believer in high-end bullpen talent. I don't believe it's something worth paying for. So I have a lot of mid-level relievers. Whether that's a good idea or not is up for debate. However, by mid-season, you will see a rotation of my CCP Walker, Snell, Jorge Soto, Jerry Rivera, and my second CCP McKnight. I do think I think at that point in time, I will have the best rotation, and we'll see what happens from there. Also, Alfredo Espinosa is going to be a fucking god.
That I agree with.
Yeah.
Carry on. Next team.
That's up to Tim.
Oh, is it back to me already? Shoot.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go Portland Stags.
What?
What?
Are they awake yet?
Yes, they're very much awake. Same
What?
thing I said for the Expos, though. It's building up the farm. See, they did a really good job. I think he schooled us. I think he was playing us all in the early season with that. I just think it's going to take a little bit to build a team that is competitive. He's on the right track. He will finish 6th in the AL West.
I got him last.
I agree with you, Tim. I got him. I have them 6th in the AL West. I think they're still figuring out who they are. They still need to make some moves to be able to compete, especially in a really tough AL West. However, I do think they're a better team than a lot of people think, and they're not the worst team in this division.
I have them. Good.
Oh, sorry. I have them 6th as well, but for me, it says more about the teams below them than them. I don't, again, I don't see a whole lot here to get real excited about. I mean, there's some quality young guys. I don't know that I see too many people that are kind of built around young guys on this roster. I think that's, probably going to be the next step for Attica is trying to find a little more elite talent to really, be a foundation to build around there. But I think they finished sixth mainly just because I think the other two teams below them are a lot worse.
And I have them finishing seventh. I don't think they are the worst team in the division. And like I mentioned before, 5 through 8 can honestly be interchangeable for me. I do think their talent is still getting there, but like you guys have said, it's going to be a process for an expansion team, and I think they're on the right track. It's just right now, it's some growing pains right now. All right, JR, who you got next?
Let's go Miami, the Miami Marlins. Our guy Eddie.
I'm going to Miami. Bienvenido a Miami.
Miami. So, we've been talking for a couple of years now about the Marlins and, some of their young talent they've got coming up in the infield with Red Ditt and EVC and Luke Leto. Now, Eddie's got his Leland Sunder CCP coming up there. I think there's a lot of talent there. I am jumping up to third this year. I think the Marlins take a big step forward toward trying to be a playoff team with that foundation, really gelling and coming together. There's still a little bit on the pitching side that's holding them back, but they've got a Jake Willis to really build around at the top of that rotation. And I think, as Eddie adds some more starting pitching depth, that team's, a team on the rise.
I have them at fifth. I also have Red Ditt winning National League MVP.
Wow.
Look out, Dan Smith.
Ditto for the spot in the standings.
But not for the MVP.
No.
Ditto for the spot in the standings. Not
I've got
for the
Mr.
MVP.
Trey Griffey taking home that award. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, considering I don't have my fifth spot open, I can't say ditto for fifth. I have them finishing sixth. The outside of their infield, nothing about that team impresses me. Really. That's very loud, JR.
When I was talking about this division, I said outside of an infield. So
when Brendan said Trey Griffey, JR was channeling his inner Daniel Bryan or Brian Danielson. Yes. The yes movement, baby.
I guess it's my turn again.
Let's go.
Well, Aiden took away the one thing in my life that mattered, which was being the person to call out each of the podcast pals.
There's still one left.
Someone had to call you out, so I just took responsibility.
So I gotta go ahead and just wrap it up. Wrap up the show. The
you need to wrap something up.
Cardinals.
Always got to wrap it up.
Highly recommend.
Nah, fuck that shit. Second.
Wait, what?
Let's go. Second, baby.
This is where I'm questioning whether or not you're serious and how many drinks you've had.
Nah, we're gonna go second. Their outfield is doo-doo now. After the loss of Acuna, but they also have got like they got Roediger, right? They got Andrew Alexander, right? They got Alex Lee, and they got fucking Royce Lewis. They also got a great fucking rotation. Did they sell their soul to get it? I don't know. I'm gonna put them at number 2 for now. We'll see what happens.
A little bit of a spoiler for the opening day rotation for the Cardinals. Torrey Allenson is not a part of it.
Dun, dun, dun.
He is starting the year in AAA.
I'll go next. I've got the Cardinals finishing in 5th place, narrowly missing out on the playoffs.
I'm going last because it's my team. Y'all go next.
Tim, yeah.
5th. I think you may have overcorrected in the pitching.
Which I've admitted to.
Yeah.
Overcorrecting?
I agree with you.
Me making a ton of trades to make a giant change up through the offseason? No.
Yeah. And I think some of the hitting will kind of come back down to earth, but not to the extent that it's going to like pull you down to my level. But the Dodgers will narrowly beat you for fourth and perhaps the last playoff spot.
I've got you ninth. No.
Screw you.
I also have
the Pacific Coast League.
I get relegated to the AAA. Meet up with
He's
Cody
relegated to the championship, folks.
Despite your service time manipulation on Tori Allenson, I think
that is not what's going on.
I'd like the eMLB competition committee to vote on competence in the Cardinals GM, please.
Yeah. Hey, I put Roediger on the opening day roster last year, so there was no service time manipulation.
Unfit for management duties.
So I've got the Cardinals at fifth, also. Yeah, I mean everybody's kind of talked, made all the points, but there's still a lot of talent there. It's going to be interesting to see how that team emerges over the first couple months to see where they're at. Yeah, I will say this early on. I think Jack Elliott though steps into the outfield and is a Rookie of the Year contender.
If only he was on my opening day roster.
Service time manipulation.
More service time.
No, that's not service time manipulation. He was up last year. He was a September call up. So it's not service time manipulation. It's I have too many lefties in my outfield.
It's arbitration money manipulation.
So I am on record as saying I definitely overcorrected for my pitching, but it's because I believe pitching has more of an impact when it comes to the playoffs than hitting. I believe strength in your rotation and your bullpen is more important when you get to the playoffs than your offense is. And that is evidenced by the fact that I got trounced out of the wild card round by Chicago. And my offense disappeared and my pitching got destroyed, especially in game 2, where I think I lost like 10-2 or something like that in the deciding game. So I wish I held the same optimism as Brenden does for my team. But when I lose a 6-WAR player in Acuna, I have to figure out a way to find that offense again, and that's going to be really difficult. However, I will say I am more excited about the depth that I've put together this season, where if players that are on my opening day roster don't do well, I have a handful of options at AAA that can fill in those spots, and that is both on the rotation and the bullpen and hitting. So hopefully I can find the right combination of players to make it back to the playoffs again. But I do have myself finishing 4th behind the Dodgers. The Dodgers, we have to keep flipping back and forth, so I got to put the Dodgers ahead of me. I do think that we will end up making a wild card spot, though. I gotta get into the playoffs.
All right, it's
JR,
your pick.
You falling asleep on us, JR? You saying this podcast is taking forever?
I'm telling you, it's a long one. Still got 11 teams left.
All right, well, we can go quicker.
Yeah, we're running to the All-Star break.
Change our predictions on the fly. Let's go Houston Astros. I have them finishing 2nd. Kind of already touched on why when we talked about the Angels. The Angels and Astros are really the top 2 teams in the league. It's just that they're in the same division, so they gotta someone has to win, someone has to get 2nd. So Brenden says 2.
I have them finishing 3rd.
Ooh, spicy.
Well, and not really. I think the top 3 teams finish within 4 games of each other.
That's fair. The Rangers did make the World Series last year.
Yeah. I'm the only one who has them winning the division, and Ben is a scary motherfucker, and I don't want to cross him. And you know what? Until he proves me otherwise, he's going to win this division.
Dude's the kind of guy you don't want to meet in a back alley.
No, because hold on, he won't beat you up like physically. He'll just lawyer you to death. He'll like pull as much law terms as he can, and that scares me.
That's
He'll
what I
sue
meant.
you.
That's worse.
Yeah.
I've got him finished in third. I think Jamie's Rangers, still have a lot of firepower there. They're a little bit behind the Astros on the pitching side, but I think they've got a good squad there that will stay ahead of them. So I think the Astros, I've gotten that third slot again. They could very easily win the division too. There's just so much talent there.
Shall I go ahead and just slide the Rangers into the top remaining spot on the AL? Let's
Yeah,
go ahead
I
and
would
finish
go
out the AL
Yeah,
West.
Let's just
So-
finish divisions from here on out. Let's
Yeah,
finish the
AL. We're finishing the AL West. Aiden has them. The Rangers,
I still want to give some analysis here, though.
I'm just gonna list off where everyone has it, and then we can talk about it.
Okay.
Brenden has them third. Tim and JR both have them second, and I have them third.
This
I agree.
Rangers team surprised a lot of people last year, I think. This Rangers team is a lot better still than we're giving them credit for. I think they could win this division, as multiple of us have said. What it will come down to is which starting rotation in this division will hold up injury-wise throughout the season. This Rangers team is good. Their lineup, I'd say, is a top 5 lineup in baseball. But that rotation, if it holds healthy, can be one of the best in baseball. But if they don't stay healthy, they could finish as low as 5th or 6th in this division. Health is the key in this division. Whichever team stays healthy and adds at the deadline will come out on top.
I feel like this division is truly a 1A through C kind of situation. Obviously, the Rangers coming off a World Series appearance. That is awesome. Jamie has a good team built there. I feel like the Angels and the Astros are more equipped to handle a long season than the Rangers are. The Rangers, much to what Aiden said, need to stay healthy and they need to stay hot. They got a great top-heavy roster. It's what's underneath it that scares me a little bit.
I don't really have much else to add. Y'all kind of hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I think the interesting part for the Rangers is going to be, how their rotation fares. Are we going to still get, a really good season from Cassie Thurman and Hans Kraus? Hans Kraus. Are they going to get some guys? Oh yeah, are they going to get some guys, that step in there and still have good seasons in the rotation to go with that offense? I think they will. That's why I haven't finished in second, but I think it's a valid question to have about that team.
All right, so finishing out the AL West, we have the A's, where myself, Aiden, and JR have them all finishing last. And then Tim and Brenden have them finishing 7th.
I don't think much analysis is required here. I think the roster is actually better than the Stags. That's it.
For me, I actually think it's going to be a battle between the A's and the White Sox for the worst record in the league. And then Tim's Diamondbacks will be 3rd worst.
I think that we've already
You're
heard
muted,
from. I think we've already heard from Oakland the fact that they're trying to get better, and I think they will get better as time goes on. They shed a lot of salary, and now they can do what Oakland does best and figure out how to retool this team to lead them to the promised land in 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, I like the approach. And I think we can quibble about how much talent they let go. The more I look at Rodriguez's numbers, I'm kind of underwhelmed too, as far as his ratings and things.
Rodriguez wasn't the issue. It was the pitcher that they gave up.
Yeah, I can
Can't
see
remember
that.
the name off the top of my head.
Meh.
I knew it.
Nesty
Yeah.
Fuentes.
Nesty, that's right.
Yeah.
Nesty.
Pitching is
Nasty.
just such a gamble anyway, especially in this league. So, but yeah, I like the approach. And I mean, it feels like there's a plan for Oakland. Whereas, and shedding all of that salary, it means a lot, really. I think that'll help them in the long run.
I still we talked about it on the other podcast. It still doesn't make any sense to me if there is that long-term vision to make the move they did to get rid of salary over the course of a couple of seasons that they weren't going to compete anyway, and likely wouldn't be using that on anything. It's just, I mean, you look at their roster now, especially in the lineup. I mean, they have so many young guys that they're given time to, which I applaud. But there was kind of some back and forth on some of those moves that didn't seem to all jive together to me. But he picked up some solid guys in the offseason to kind of, help the team, at least be, competitive at times a little bit this season. But the only guy to get excited about on this roster is Marty McCleary.
All right.
Shall we move over to the AL East next? Finish out the American
literally
League.
what I was going to say. All right,
All
Aiden,
right.
sixth or last?
For the Los Tigres, the number 16. And what this comes down to is the Tigers were good last year. But for me, I don't know what this new GM brings to the table. New GMs scare me in this league. We've seen new GMs fare very good, and we've seen new GMs shit the bed. What will he do? I don't know. But in this AL East, I would not be surprised if the Tigers are selling at the deadline.
I think the Tigers sell at the deadline too, 7. But I think it's going to be very hard to be worse than the White Sox.
Chicago is just abhorrent. The White Sox are just bad.
Right.
I have the Tigers
I mean,
in 6th as well for the same reason, and I do also think that they will be selling at the deadline.
I'm kind of high on them. I'll go 4th, and some of it is the fact that I'm a Tigers fan in real life, and
Good a reason as any, I suppose.
yeah. No, I like the fact that they've got somebody at the helm. I think that will continue to make a difference.
Yeah, I think one thing that's interesting is he's the new GM is moving David Leal into the rotation. It looks like moving him from the closer's role, trying to add him to the starting rotation there to give that a boost. I think that's worth a try. With his endurance there, he can see if he can make that work. You still got Framber Valdez there and Matt Manning, some of the guys that have been there a little while. There isn't a whole lot in the way of offense on that team, and I think some of those older guys that they've had for a little while, like Caber Ruiz and Bregman and Kettle Marte, those could be the guys that kind of get moved at the deadline there.
I think Shane Boz gets moved at the deadline as well.
Yeah, could be.
He seems like a guy who's going to go to one of those AL or NL West teams who just need the guy.
Well, and I think we are all in agreement about the 8th place team in the AL East. They are in full rebuild mode, and you can't really blame them, honestly. I think they made some good moves to get a lot of young pieces. I don't think they did anything wrong with the Ed Brown trade. They got back a ton of talent that will help build them for the future, but at the cost of competing in this current year, which I think that's their plan for this year. Is they hit the reset button, plain and simple.
Yeah. Well, and they weren't going to be much higher with Brown in the lineup, to be frank. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think they
the
really got a
move.
good haul. As I told him, I would have made that trade myself. Totally get what he's doing.
Absolutely. It's not a knock on the team itself. It's just a reality. There are going to be teams that are in that rebuild mode no matter what season it is, and the White Sox are leaning into it. They're not trying to be someone that they're not.
So shall we go to the NL East next?
On the White Sox, real quick, I did like the pitchers they got for Ed Brown.
Yeah,
agreed. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you look at that young rotation that they've got with Arati, who I really like. When we were talking about Edgar Barrios, that was somebody I definitely wanted as part of the deal. You got Crabtree, Farrar, Joe Boyce, who came in that Toronto deal. I think those 4 guys, can form the foundation of a good starting rotation.
Long term, it was the right choice to make.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
1000%.
So I think we go to the NL East next because actually, you know what? Let's do NL West because I think what's left in the NL East is really interesting to seeing where the holes are in our predictions. So let's finish off the NL West first because that's a little bit more straightforward.
All right, Tim, you want to start us off with the NL West, seeing as you're one of our 2 NL West GMs?
All right. Milwaukee, I have them 6th. They made a few moves. I think they need to make a few more to be competitive. I can't really tell whether they are trying to build on the fly or whether this is just trying to soften the landing. But 6th place for me.
It feels like Jay Hill wants to rebuild, but doesn't want to just be really bad, right?
I can relate to that.
He's taking I think he's taking the Tampa rebuild approach because I feel like I'm in the same boat as Jay Hill. I want to rebuild, but I don't want to.
You don't want to be
not
last.
At least be competitive. If I have a top 15 pick next year, I will say if I have a pick between 10 and 15 next year, I will say, okay, I accomplished the goal. I wasn't the worst team in the league, but at the same time, I retooled and I've got some good prospects coming up next year. And I feel like Jay Hill is probably in the same boat with the Brewers.
I just worry that, in a league like ours where, the top teams have such embarrassment of rich top talent, I just worry that approach kind of leaves him forever kind of stuck in 4th, 5th, 6th place in the division.
There's an argument to be made that's true in real life as well.
Right.
Like that the tear it down and build it up from the scraps approach is the best approach. Maybe. I do like a lot of his pitching talent. I don't think he has a complete bottom feeder lineup. He has definitely a bottom half and probably a bottom third lineup, but not the worst. I also have him at 6th. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to bet that we all have him at 6, unless someone just wants to be different for the sake of being different.
I wasn't going to do it for the sake of being different, but you would lose that bet.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, I'm going to pause us right here because apparently we got a donation that I'm sorry about the alerts being so loud. I didn't realize that. Sorry. I don't know who it's from or who the question is directed towards because it was a $5 donation. I have the question, but I don't know who's supposed to answer. And I don't know who put it in because it just says your mama.
Yo mama.
Your mama donated.
Read out the question and see if we can guess who is it for.
I tried, but it doesn't really relate to any of us specifically.
What does it say?
It's what would Jandy Ronson go for in a trade? Because we were talking about Ed Brown in the trade that he went for.
My vote, JR answers this one.
I'd agree with that. Let's let JR answer this one.
Sure.
So should I just give a broad strokes of what I think a deal would be?
No, you gotta pick a player. Pick a big time CCP to go back.
You trade for him. Trade him, Trey Griffey.
Hey, I told Sean I would do a one straight up with him and Trey Griffey.
I feel like you'd have to send back more.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying Jandy Ronson is worth more.
What you talking about, Wiz?
Come at me.
I think for a guy like Jandy, you got to get an elite CCP position player plus a major league ready starting pitching prospect plus another top 100 prospect at the bare minimum.
And then I'd say at least probably 2 top 300 prospects as well.
Do I know?
And I'd say throw in there. You need at least 2 top, 250 to 300 prospects on top of that as well. You need some substance.
I guess it would, to me, it would depend though on like, I'm talking from an elite position player perspective, like, another guy similar to him, a 1 to 3 year service guy or a, on the verge of the majors, elite CCP hit, fielding prospect.
Like an Ed Brown, a Trey
Griffey. Yeah. Who's offering to trade for Jandy? What's the team situation? Because I think you'd have to be close to, if not already competing.
Someone who has a high-powered offense that's missing a rotation piece.
Okay.
Somebody like Toronto.
I would agree there. They have plenty. Jordan Cage going to San Francisco.
You go play with old Uncle Jerry. Yeah, honestly,
and that punk named LeBlond.
I mean, honestly, say you're Toronto and say you're willing to trade J. Rod Carew and
Kingston.
Tanner Houck and Langston. Is it Kingston or Langston? I always get this. Kingston. I mean, is that a package that San Francisco considers?
Yeah, I actually think that's probably a package that Toronto needs to get something else back in.
Yeah, I can make an argument for that for sure.
All right, we're off the rails. Let's get back to.
It was a donation question. We had to answer it.
Yeah,
did I don't disagree.
Somebody paid for it. I'll sidetrack for that.
All right,
absolutely.
Here we go.
Thank you for the donation, by the way.
Andrew, where do you have the Brewers?
It was Sean Paxley who asked the question.
By wasting our time, you have helped fight cancer in kids, which makes it not a waste of time.
Amen.
Just don't fight the kids that have the cancer.
That was hilarious.
You knocked the cancer right out of them.
Bam! Oh!
Bam! You cured.
Pow!
All right.
They talk about healing hands. I got healing fists.
Sincerely, J. Ram.
All right. So back to the
Hold on. I got one more. Your donation is helping us knock out cancer like Jose Ramirez knocks out Tim Anderson.
There you go. Is this my son's moment where we fight the cancer? Yes, it was that's exactly what we were referencing, Commish.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Back to the Brewers. I did mention that I wasn't doing this just to be different, but when I was
being different,
a young boy, my father.
So when I go into trade negotiation with teams, I tend to do a deep dive into what their roster is constructed at the time. I really like all of the young outfielders that the Rockies have. Plus, they added at the very last second here. They added in the free agent starting pitcher. Thanks, 90s guy. I appreciate that one. So I think the Brewers actually finished in 7th because I think the Rockies took a bigger step forward than we realize.
Why? When he was a young warthog.
When I was a young warthog.
Very nice.
Very nice.
You're supposed to say thanks.
Gracias, señores.
No, he ruined the quote. Anyway.
I have no talent.
Does everyone else have the Brewers at 6?
Yes.
Yes, I have them at 6.
Okay.
I feel like the longer we go, the less on track we're going to be, and that's okay. We very much have a bell curve.
Wait, we've been on track?
Can't be on track if we never had it.
Can't be on track if you never had a track to begin with.
And I think it's fair to go ahead and lock the Rockies in and everyone's spots because I don't think anyone's going to have them in their top 2.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Yes, I'm pretty sure about that.
Okay.
I like the direction the Rockies are going. I think that their acquire young, talented pitching in bulk strategy is a really good idea for them because basically it's just going to be straight up survival of the fittest. If you throw 20 guys into the rotation over the course of 3 years, 5 of them are bound to stick. So survival of the fittest, baby. Find out who's going to be those guys.
You've now let us in on your own strategy. Got it. Interesting. Okay. Write that down. Yeah, I like what they're doing too, and I think.
Oh, Amu Rath is live.
Oh,
That
I am
concludes
not
our
rating.
show tonight, everybody.
Well, I'm done.
That's not where I'm rating.
are you sure?
Why not?
Yep.
You gotta go
No,
visit JR's
I do like it, and I think we can kind of experiment because the teams at the bottom of the West. I mean, we're not going to accidentally
experiment.
stumble into the playoffs. So you can kind of sandbox it a little bit, try some stuff, and
So,
reload if
so
it doesn't work.
can I kick us off with the Cubbies?
Sure.
Can I say one thing real quick on the Rockies?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
JJ Ryder, sleeper rookie of the year candidate.
I don't hate that.
I wouldn't say sleeper. I'd say he is a rookie of the year candidate.
Well, I just mean because he's not a CCP. It feels like the CCPs
yeah.
are always,
Right.
That's fair.
And they will be on game of the day, second game of the Sunday doubleheader
We love it.
against some desert team.
Part of that young Rockies outfield I was talking about. I really like the pieces they've got in that outfield there. I tried to trade for multiple of them.
You
Ended up with Jordan Anderson, the not so young one.
So for me, I've been on many a podcasts as a part of this channel and community, and I've talked about the Cubs many. And every year I am met with resistance from the people on this panel, whether it's just Brenden, whether it's a multitude of the people on this panel, about, oh, the Cubs aren't going to be that good. Oh, they're so batting heavy and their pitching doesn't do it. Well, guess what? They somehow find a way to do it every year. And this year's going to be no different. And you know what? I'm giving you an early prediction. Cubs are your World Series champions of eMLB.
Cool. They'll need that playoff revenue in order to make payroll.
You're not wrong. Just said there.
I was with you right up until the end, but okay.
I'm interested to hear why Brenden has them in third while all the rest of us have them in second or first.
I think the Padres win the division, and I want it to be different.
So you don't actually believe that I'm going to finish in second?
I actually don't believe you're going to finish in second.
No,
I'm
didn't
thinking
think
you're gonna
so.
finish in second. What I really think is happening here is I think it's really stupid to predict divisions the same as they were last year because there's going to be some variation that we can't predict. And so I'm just trying to throw in just enough of a change to get ahead of those variations.
I didn't predict the exact same way they ended last year.
I mean, you got pretty darn close.
Yeah, I flipped the Dodgers and Cardinals because they're supposed to flip every year.
I just have a hard time not thinking that the Cubs with that roster are gonna win the division there. Knowing that again, I think if the Padres would have kept Mackenzie Gore, I would have been tempted to put the Padres above them. I think they're that close, but I just think taking that small step back in the rotation and the Cubs, still having a lot of talent there. I think Kent Herbeck Jr. is going to be the MVP of the National League this year. I think he's going to have a monster season again. There's a lot of talent there, and to Aiden's point, the pitching really came through last year in getting them a little bit farther, and I think this year you see that again.
What's their window?
The Cubs are going to be the Toronto Blue Jays of the NL and have 3 of the top 5 in MVP voting.
Yeah, I definitely feel that.
I don't think that's a hot take. It's just a factual statement.
I feel like that's more of a Padres statement because you have 2 Kims and Tatis.
And Reyes.
And Reyes.
I think
Right.
I think 6 of the top 7 come from the Cubs and Padres.
How about
Trey Griffin?
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, and then Trey Griffin. Yeah,
and Trey Griffin.
By the way, the Padres are a Kim injury away from disaster, though.
They're thin, but there's a lot of superstar there.
Yeah, but I think you lose one of those 3 superstars, and obviously I'm including Tatis as a Kim in this made up scenario. I think you lose one of those 3, and you're looking at big hole in that division that probably drops you down to third.
Yeah. If you're doing a SWOT analysis for teams in eMLB, you've definitely got some red flags there from that standpoint.
Shall we go to the most interesting division that's left?
That's left.
You mean the only division that's left? Yeah, sure, let's do it.
I didn't say that. You did.
All right. So the reason why this is interesting is because myself and Brenden both have our top 3 spots remaining in the division, whereas Aiden and Tim have their top 2 and then the last place in their division open.
And I'm feeling just energetic enough to go ahead and lead us off with the one team that's causing all of this discrepancy.
And
No, let's save them for last.
The Mets, baby. Love the Mets. Let's go, Mets. Hit a home run, baby. Love the Mets. Let's go, Mets. I think the Mets are no. Yes.
I was agreeing with you.
I know. No. You put them in 3, and I was about to stop you, but actually, yes, 3. Okay. So here's the thing about the Mets: is their pitching staff is doo-doo right now.
I think doo-doo is
Denver and I have spoken about that a lot at length. But here's the thing about a doo-doo pitching staff: is it's actually it's more like a bland, featureless dog turd on the sidewalk. It's not a hot steaming pile of crap. It's just kind of garbage in a not super noticeable way. It's enough to mask. It's enough that their really good lineup, I think, can actually propel them to like an 82 and 80 season. You've got the CCP Billy Anderson. You've got Sergio Fajardo, fresh off his breakout campaign. You got Tony Sawyer. You got Tom Shuey. You got Benny the Jet Rodriguez. By the way, Benny and the Mets. Come on. You got Alonso and Jackson Miller. That is a strong lineup. I like this lineup, and I like this lineup to propel them towards being the best of the rest in this division.
You mentioned Tony Sawyer and talking about a strong lineup.
Yikes.
He of the 73 OPS plus.
I didn't mean like season? All offense. I meant like position players.
Okay.
He's an elite defensive shortstop.
He is an elite defensive shortstop, but when you talk about a lineup, I'm thinking you're talking about hitting.
That's a fair point, and I deserve to be criticized for that. I meant strong defensive shortstop.
Then Brenden, let me ask you: in your opinion, do the Mets make the playoffs?
No.
As a matter of fact, I think they're probably right now they're probably roughly equivalent to where the Brewers are at, in my standings.
See, the problem with predictions like that is that the way the schedule is structured, the NL East teams are going to be playing each other a lot more. And I see the Mets getting closer to the playoffs than that, just based on the fact that they got to play the rest of the teams in the NL East a lot more than they play everyone else. Mm-hmm. So I don't think the Mets make the playoffs.
On the balance schedule.
No, I didn't have a chance to complete it.
Which is fine. I prefer this one.
Yeah, I know you prefer it, Brenda, but I don't.
I thought the game automatically did the balance schedule.
So it's weighted very heavily to play your own division.
You play your own division, each opponent in your division twice. You play everyone else once.
All right, I need to change the Diamondbacks to 9th then.
I think that the Mets finish 82 and 80. Like, I think that they're scraping that dino turd. I was actually thinking about that story when I brought that up. I think the Mets are finally get over that 500 hump. They're feeling good about their future.
I think even with playing more in the division, that pitching staff is just so bad. I mean, I just can't see them betting on them finishing anywhere in the top half.
With that caveat, it kind of makes me want to change mine. I actually want to put the Mets 5th and the Marlins, Expos, and Nationals all down 1. Please and thank you. And I feel like this is if that is the case, and they are playing against this is probably the big buyer in the National League. That is not the Padres.
And I have a feeling that they have 3 first basemen, 3 like between their majors and their minor leagues, and I feel like one of the 2 major leaguers is going to be packaged for a strong rotation upgrade.
But is it Jandy?
You described, Brenden, you described the Mets rotation as bland. I think that was the word you used, correct?
I don't know if I used that word, but that's what I meant. Yeah.
The Mets rotation is white people taco night. That's the best way to describe it.
It's mayo spicy.
Oh. But I have got the Mets finishing last because, yes, their lineup is decent. But guess what? You need to get outs to be able to get out of games, which their pitching staff cannot do. Therefore, they are a last-place team.
I'd like to use my team last year as a counter argument to that. My team could not get outs, but we made the playoffs.
And to be fair, a good chunk of Andrew's team from last year is the Mets now, so
3/4 of their infield.
And Kansas
Still
City.
stand by what I said.
No, Kansas City, it's their rotation that they got from me.
okay. So for these last two teams, I feel like it's good for us to reintroduce the Brenden coin to figure out which team we talk about first. Agree? Can we agree on that?
Which one we talk about? Okay.
It's obvious. It's obvious which order we have both these two teams in the same spot, like between one or two spots. Which team do we talk about first? So, since the Pirates have frequently used a pirate, like the image of a pirate as their mascot, heads is the Pirates, and tails, because the Phillies belong on the butt, are going to be the Phillies.
What?
Because they're butt, they're doo doo. All right.
Wait.
Wow.
Brendan, would this be a good time to force an ad break because we're 3 minutes away from it?
I think it'd be a good time to skip that ad break because this is our
All right, I'll snooze it. Yep.
All right,
Go.
It's tails. Let's talk about the Phillies.
All right, you go first then.
Numero uno. Los Diablos Rojos de Mexico are going to be the number one team in not the National League East, but have the best record in the National League. Partially by virtue of getting the beat up on the bottom of the division, yes. But they're a very good team. They're very, very good. Hebrew is a very good GM. I like where the Phillies are at.
Go ahead, JR.
I was going to say, I also have them finishing first. I mean, he's now put Bruce DeGratto on the trade block because he's got so much starting pitching there, after bringing in Ethan Knight to go with, Corbin Coe and Andrew Hunter and Dante Haversham, which Dante Haversham still drives me nuts being a two-way player that's a catcher and a starting pitcher. It's completely insane, but nonetheless.
Ain't no rule says you can't do it. He's an airbud.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Great movie, by the way.
Hey, if Hebrew's watching, I don't know if he still is or not. Hebrew, will you please change Dante Haversham's nickname to Airbud? Because he is the symbol of the Airbud rule when it comes to CCPs. Ain't no rule that says you can't be a pitcher and a catcher.
Just not at the same time.
One of the few S rank players in my Super Mega Baseball conversion.
I have them first as well. Top to bottom is probably the most complete. I can't believe Hebrew doesn't have this team exactly where he wants it. Just great deal after great deal. And possibly the best record in baseball at the end of the year.
I will jump on the Philly bandwagon here. I'm also putting them at first. It's a case of whoever has Ethan Knight's going to win the division because the Pirates had him last year and the Phillies have him this year. And I mean, the Phillies just have been good consistently over the past few seasons. And there's no reason to think they can't be consistent winners again.
I have 3 words to tell you which team is going to win this division. Fuck the Pirates.
Amen. That's it. Okay. All right.
So why are the defending World Series champions not the number one in a single person's predictions?
because
they lost an ace and one of their best hitters.
Yeah.
They usually, I feel like when you win a World Series, correct me if I'm wrong, most of the time you keep a lot of that core together.
They did.
Which they did. However, when your core includes Ethan Knight and Rafael Devers, who both are, we could be saying down the line, Hall of Famers in eMLB, you're going to take a hit a little bit. I think if this does not go right for them, and I said this last year, and I was made to eat my words, so I hope I eat them again, Cody. This team can either boom again and win a World Series or bust and blow it up like the 2005 Miami Marlins. Or not the 2005. Was 05 the year they won it?
03.
03.
So
they could blow it up like the 04 Miami Marlins.
I hear you, and I raise you another sharp bro in the minors, a sharp bro at the majors. Bruce Wayne, Mike Purter, Cody Koshin. All right. On offense, Cody Koshin again, Barry Bonds Jr., Ishmael Bracamontes, Steve fucking Austin, Marc-Andre Fleury, James Stone fucking cold. This team is loaded talent-wise. Now, obviously, I don't have them as number one because I think that the Phillies are set up to win the division. But when I said the Phillies have the best record in the National League, it's right ahead of where the Pirates are at. I have them as 1A, 1B in this division. Devers and Ethan Knight were all in, chips on the table, deadline acquisitions to win a World Series, and it paid off.
In a big way.
And they're fine without them.
Now, let me also point this out. After Devers and Knight went to free agency, the award for most cost-effective wins this season is going to go to the Pirates because their payroll is minuscule this year. They are still a bottom half of the league in terms of their payroll, and they're going to still keep winning. This team, what's that?
Their third highest paid player is a guy from Japan who they signed to a 6-year, $60 million deal to play in the minors right now.
And by the way,
which that's questionable, by the way.
Hold on. I would like to say this, however. Well, I did say, fuck the Pirates, and that they can either boom or bust. I want to see them succeed. I want Cody to build a dynasty because the NL East needs a juggernaut dynasty. And for me, the Pirates are the team to do that with this young CCP core. The Phillies have a lot of money to spend, but some of these guys, especially on the heavier contracts, are going to start aging. I think the Pirates can be this young team that we're talking about for 10 to 15 seasons who are the best team in the NL East, and I want to see that. However, I don't know if they can repeat without those two guys at the helm in Knight and Devers.
The problem with the Pirates' young core is it's going to be the problem that the Cubs are about to run into, and that you can't pay them the league minimum forever. Once the Pirates hit the point where they're going to have to start paying all these young all-stars and superstars, they're going to have to make some tough decisions because I don't think they're going to be able to keep all of them.
They won't have to pay Cody Koshin.
All right, we're not going to talk about that. That contract aside. They're going to have to pay.
Sorry,
they've also already.
I think Cody continuing to get. By the way, I think Cody continuing to get shit for that is bullshit. That's an Airbud contract. Everyone knows it's an Airbud contract. He has offered to have it raised multiple times. He's also not in the wrong for having done it. Sometimes you need someone to take advantage of the system in order for rules to change, and that's it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And he's shown he can put together a team. Yeah, he's shown he can put together a team. And I also think that the situation he's facing, like we talked about in the last podcast, he's not alone. And revenue sharing to one degree or another may help some of the lower teams. It's going to hurt some of the teams with a lot of money. And kind of where it shakes out. I see Cody's prime based on this salary situation to do the exact same thing he did this year. Which
take
is
on those big players.
Do a couple of rental players, bump up in that second half of the season, and be close enough to get in. And once you get in,
But how long
Make
until
another?
his farm system runs out with the ability to add those players, though? Because he kind of moved some of his farm system in order to make those moves last season.
Yeah,
So
but-
he wouldn't be considered one of the strongest farm systems anymore.
I bet he's probably one of the weakest.
Yeah, but again, if you take a look at the construction of his team, a lot of those guys last year were rookies. Like a lot of the guys like Bonds Jr. and whatnot, they still have this year and next year where they're not even arbitration eligible yet. So he still has cheap years coming for them, and then can trade one or maybe two of those guys to replenish the farm system and still have plenty of talent. I mean, Brackamanis is signed already to a long-term deal. Fleury is signed already to a long-term deal. Koshin we talked about. I mean, there's guys locked up already, and then he can kind of pick and choose which one he might be able to get the biggest return for, and trade those out to get that farm system churning again. He's, we know Cody. He's not afraid to make a move like that to make sure that he's built for the long haul, and he's been constantly doing these marketing campaigns in the background to build up his fan interest. If he wins another World Series this year, which I think he's going to, then you have a back-to-back World Series win, and he's just going to be flush with some cash.
All right, so now that we've talked about all the teams, let's quickly go ahead and give our World Series matchup and our AL and NL MVP.
Are we really gonna do it like the?
We can do it quick.
I don't feel like that's a conversation.
It's not a quick conversation. I've already delayed the ad twice, and I only have one more delay to use.
So let's go ahead and wrap this one up.
I feel like at least the World Series is a quick conversation. We've already talked about who we expect to see in the World Series. Some of us.
Well,
I have the Pirates.
Right.
I'll say it now for me. I mean, I have the Pirates beating the Angels in the World Series. I think Tom gets really close, but I just still think Cody's team is built to still defend the title.
I have the Padres and the Angels in the series of destiny. And I think the Angels win it. 4-3.
I'll go Cubs over the Rangers.
Padres over Blue Jays.
Brenden.
Battle of the Birds, baby! Orioles over Cardinals.
Hey, I'll take making the World Series, honestly.
Stay home, Brendan. You're drunk.
I do really. I that's personal optimism. We're not being optimistic. The Angels of Anaheim of the City of Angels are going to top the team that is a shortened version of the city they play in 6 games. The Angels beating the Phillies.
The Angels beat who?
The Phillies.
Oh, the Phillies.
All right. AL NL MVP?
No.
Nah.
I refuse to participate in this.
I'll give him. I'll give mine. Danny Smith Jr. and Lola Thurman.
Wow, going out on a limb there.
Yeah.
Red Dit in the National League. And some third baseman in Toronto.
I'm going to go from Rookie of the Year to MVP on both sides. Trevor Gretzky and Shane Rodicker.
Rodicker.
JR,
I already said earlier Kent Herbeck Jr. in the National League, so I got him winning that. And then I think Barry Allen in the AL.
Oh, I know. Imagine that. Him with power. Jeez.
All right.
Brenden.
Well, he says he's refusing to participate in this one.
Why are you refusing to participate?
Just to piss you off.
You're a fucking asshole. You know that, you fucking bitch?
He's mad I didn't pick Buster Bluth.
Rowland and Kane.
Michael Sean Kane. I think JR, your idea in the Discord about was it your idea to cut a promo as Eric the Eradicator Kelly?
Yeah.
I want to see that. I want to see Kamish cut a wrestling promo.
I want to see that too.
Did he agree to it?
No, I don't think
He
so.
should have.
Yeah,
That's
he
so
should.
much better than a wig. We could have been wearing
He's
wigs
here.
during that.
He's here right now. Can he confirm it or not? Because he just said our stream just went NC-17.
Yeah, Kamish. You got it, Kamish. You got it.
Wrestling promo.
Yeah, you got to tell us. You got to accept a certain donation, and you cut a wrestling promo like the Eradicator.
Give us a number.
$1 million.
1 million.
Stop putting ideas in his head.
Don't put it out of reach. Are we just going to wait on him now?
We are going to wait on him.
Yes. We are.
We're waiting you out.
You're cutting into his Diablo time. I want you to know that.
I'm sure he's been like he's had like 1 year on us, 1 year on something else.
Because
I mean,
if it was me, like, let me tell you something, Aiden Pearson. You really think you're going for the top of the mountain, but I got news for you because I got all the support of the people out there. The Jaredaholics are ready to run wild with me. We're ready to take you on anywhere, anytime, any ring, any stage. We've got the power of the Jaredaholics to run wild on you.
And that's the bottom line.
Yeah!
Your biggest fan likes wrestling.
And that's the bottom line.
Hey,
Yeah.
real quick. Can I just kind of say that I am gonna miss the like every other day, but it's real to me, damn it, gifs that get posted because he thinks it's an
Hell
insult.
no. Hell no. Not missing it at all. It has been a joy not to have to deal,
Oh, it
not
is.
to have to look in the Discord and see 15 notices and be like, oh, what the fuck just started now?
and I'll just hear, oh, I just wanted to start some crap because I was bored.
Because I'm lonely and nobody talks to me in my real life.
By the way, we just got a huge rate.
If the gears in Aiden and I's head are turning, and we will just go ahead and leave that off air.
Coach!
By the
Thanks
way,
for
for
the
those
raid,
of you
buddy.
coming in from the Crazy Coach raid and have no idea what the crap we're doing right now, welcome
We're
in,
raising
everybody.
money.
Welcome
Crazy
to.
Coach, he's in the house. Oh my God, the Crazy Coach is here.
That's right. Get that wrestling promo. We are the podcast pals, the broadcast buddies. I almost forgot what we were called.
Podcast pals, broadcast buddies, and the former Joes on the Pros.
Well, yeah, that's a separate thing. But we were doing a podcast for the eMLB preseason predictions for the 2028 season on Fluffy Kitty Ninja Network over on Kamish LB's stream, participating in his fourth annual Fluffy Kitty Ninja Streamathon to raise money for the Dana-Farber Cancer Research Institute. I literally just turned off what our donation incentives were. So maybe we go to an I can't pause the ads anymore. Maybe we'll just keep talking through it. So just here so I don't get fined. It says Kenny. How you doing, Kenny?
Hey, Kenny.
Corbin Co for Cy Young, says Danny Smith Jr. We just talked about the Phillies winning the NL East. All five of us predicted that.
And that's the bottom line.
Yeah, that's right. We're about to hit an ad here, but I don't want to like give the Raiders. I want to give them the opportunity to give us some hot seat questions. I don't know. What do you guys think?
That sounds like a great idea. So let's run through the ad break. Come back for hot seat.
That's right. So we are going to take a quick 3-minute ad break. Thank you, Twitch, for forcing me to run ads on my channel. And if you have any hot seat questions you want to ask one of us or all of us, you either donate $5 towards the Jimmy Fund Dana-Farber Cancer Research Institute, or you donate $20 to ask all of us a question. We will be back in 3 minutes. Don't only use the link from the command ! Charity. Do not do any other donation links that you find on my channel. I do not want the donations coming to me. It needs to go towards the Research Institute campaign. Thanks, guys. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Where's my screen? There it is. All right, so we're back.
Looks like we're back.
Do we for hot seat?
Yes. So Danny Smith Jr. did put in a $20 donation, but just said, ask any question you'd like. Oh, wow, we're doing this. Okay.
The hot seat.
It's the hot seat. So I guess
Here, I'll hop in it first, I guess, since I gotta go soon.
That's
I
true.
mean, I don't have a. Do we each ask him? Do we just do a regular hot seat? Just ask.
Yeah,
him
we'll do a
questions?
regular hot seat. Why not?
Okay,
I mean, the
sure. And if
$20
someone else wants to jump in with questions, go for it.
Yeah.
With the donations. Can I not go first? I always go first on these.
I'm going first in the hot seat.
No, I mean like ask a
Oh,
question.
Tim,
first.
you go first. Go.
Okay. Okay. You're not the trade weasel trademark of eMLB,
Not
but
anymore.
you've made a few.
Correct.
So what position? Who's potentially on the block that would surprise a lot of people
From his team?
from your team? Yeah.
I guess Dominic Aguilera would be kind of a shock.
Considering how much you swore he was going to be a Tampa Bay Ray for life.
He was, and then I looked at some money situation, and LeRon Smith is better than Dominic Aguilera, and that's just a fact.
He's better at hitting, sure.
Fair.
Ooh, Kamisha's thrown down the gauntlet.
What'd he say?
Not about Aguilera.
He's
What'd he say?
deciding he's deciding on doing the wrestling promo, like the amount. Thinking about playing on his number 33 since for charity, maybe $330.
I like that.
You better check the way you say that name. about Dom.
Fair.
Note to self, not pronouncing that anymore.
Yep.
All right.
Just
All
say
right.
Narnar.
Nar. All right. Who's next? Brendan, go ask a question.
How much? Oh, okay, so you, sir, are in charge of setting the betting line. Plus 110 or plus, minus 130 or whatever, on the official competitive sports event of real eMLB, the arm wrestling matchup between JR and myself. What's the betting line?
JR
Gamble
minus
responsibly,
125, Brendan plus 325.
Disrespectful. Holy shit.
Gamble responsibly.
Or just don't gamble at all.
If you need help, please dial
And if you have a
1-800-GAMBLER.
problem, 1-800-BET-BETTER. If you have a problem.
We are not condoning the
JR, you're
gambling
next,
on this
go.
channel. unless it's balls of yarn.
My what? Oh,
Darn.
It's late.
Okay. I will ask an eMLB question. I promise. Mount Rushmore of eMLB catchers.
ooh.
Currently or all time?
Right now.
Currently, yeah.
Grayson Rowan, Lola Thurman, Aiden Pearson, Hamilton Porter.
That's fair. I guess I have to actually think of a question now.
Where's Dante?
I'm trying to argue with that and I can't. Wow, that's good.
The big ham. That's right, Kenny. American League, or give me your Cy Young predictions for both leagues. I know that's a boring question. I'm sorry.
Boo.
It's late. I'm not thinking.
And he's got to go.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, he's got to go too. Yeah.
Let's go Jandy Ronson and
Who's that guy?
He's trying hard not to say Walker.
Let me go Homer and go Ben Spears.
Okay. That's fair.
It's not like outlandish.
No.
No, just
All right.
not as likely.
I've got one question. I have to go after this question, but I've got one question for you, Brendan. So you're in the hot seat next by default. Okay, you ready?
Sure.
I would like you to set the Vegas betting lines
Sounds like a statement, not a question, but go on.
What is
Now it's a question.
the over-under on times you would say no to me if I was to propose to you?
Okay, real quick. I know you made that your question just because of what Tim said. What was the actual question going to be?
No, the actual question is over-under or what are you taking? I'll phrase it this way. What are you taking over-under 2.5 teams from the AL East in the playoffs?
Over.
Okay. And with that, I bid you all adieu. Have a great night, y'all. I do have to work in the morning, so.
Bye. Thanks for
See you
joining.
guys.
Imagine that.
I'm already here. Let's go ahead and burn my butt some more.
Over under how many players? Over under 6. How many players you trade away this season at the deadline?
Define trade away.
Team. All right. Over under 6 players. How many are on your opening day roster now that are on different teams by the time the season ends? And I'm not talking your minor league.
Oh. Probably under. Although, like when it comes to like bullpen pieces, I figure we'll see plenty of shuffling around there. So,
fair enough.
Because you know what, the Chicago Bears coined in 1985 the term Super Bowl shuffle, and I live by the term bullpen shuffle.
Fair enough. All right, who's got another question for Brenden? I'm also going to keep checking donations to see if any come through. Nope, not yet.
I did. Now it's just I had it a few minutes ago.
I can go.
Okay, thank you.
Other than Jacob McKnight, who from your minor leagues are you most anticipating making a debut this year?
Oh man, you actually got to ask me. Like McKnight was not even going to be someone I'm excited for. I've got 2 guys who I'm excited for. I'll pick one. Alfredo Espinoza.
I was about to say, don't pick Espinoza.
Alfredo Espinoza is gonna roll when he is ready to roll up. He will roll up and fuck shit up. All right, that's it. That's the quote. At his peak, he will hit north of 40 homers and walk north of 100 times in a season.
Okay. How far out of contention do you have to be to become a seller this year in the AL East?
I'm not one to get emotionally attached to the team I have.
Really?
If I feel like I'm wrong, right? Like if I feel like I'm in the wrong, I'm going to pivot. That's what you have to do. How far out of contention?
Mm-hmm.
I have to be staring down the barrel of barely being like a 5 or 6 seed. If I feel like I'm a weak 5 or 6 seed, even in the playoff picture, I'll look to start retooling again. But I don't expect that. Sorry,
okay. Cool.
All right. Who's next? You choose, Brenden. Who's next?
Oh.
Andrew.
I'm ready.
So much mockery has been made of you and your constant overcorrecting.
Yeah.
I'm not actually going to ask you about that.
You wanted to point it out again?
Yes, I did. However, no. I feel like everybody has some memeable traits about them in our league. Your overcorrecting is one of yours. Another one of yours is consistently refreshing your trade block to be at the top of the list. So I feel like within the first 3 months of the first 2 months of the season, right? How many different trade blocks are you going to post? Over, under? I'm setting the line at 12.
I would like to just clarify the way you phrased always being at the top of the list, that is not the reason why I post so many trade blocks. The reason why I post so many trade blocks is because I keep changing what my trade block is in my head. And I'm like, oh, I have to update so people know about it. It is not because I want to be the most visible. It is because I am constantly changing my mind.
I would like to point out that you just did the third other memeable Andrew trait. So
what, over explaining?
That's one way to put it.
Or what would you put it as?
I don't know. I'll just fuck with you now. So over under. Line at 12.
Line at 12. First 3 months of the season.
First two.
First two. Under.
So pre-July, obviously.
Under.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can hold me to that. You can count.
Get your counters out, folks.
Go for it. And I'm not going to be under 12 just because it's specifically trying to prove you wrong. It's because I had already planned on, oh crap, I over trade. Let me see how my season starts out before I make other trades. Because I did have another trade in hand that was agreeable, but I decided not to do it because I wanted to see how the season started.
Can I say one more thing? What happens when you find yourself 15 and 21?
15 and 21? I will most likely be shuffling players between majors and minors before I post a trade block.
Okay.
Because I plan for depth this year.
All right, now let's let the other people.
Why are you all laughing?
I'm laughing because JR is laughing.
And why is JR laughing?
Because he's making fun of me.
I'm laughing because of what Brenden said.
What specifically?
About you over-explaining things.
It's just a part of my personality. I have to explain everything. I'm sorry. I realize I do it a lot. I can't shut up sometimes. I'm sorry.
He's now doing the
If
fourth.
we were all the same, this would
Shut
be
up.
really boring.
Why do I hang out with you guys?
Because you love us.
Do I?
All right, Tim, JR, what do you guys
All right. When we draft, we all love to get CCPs and load up. But in general, there's a strategy. How much attention do you pay to personality traits, quirkiness, stuff like that, as opposed to the ratings or stat line? How much does that matter to you?
It's definitely not the most important thing. But if I'm evaluating between a group of like 2 to 5 prospects on my draft board, and they're all very close and I'm having a hard time deciding between them, I will definitely use personality traits as a tiebreaker. And also, if someone has a plethora of negative traits, I probably won't even target them to begin with.
Okay.
But I will give an edge to a player that has a high work ethic over someone who doesn't. That work ethic is one that I like to look for.
Good.
You're just getting my scouting information from me.
I got to learn somehow.
Who says I'm drafting well?
So speaking of the draft, if you were going to create another CCP to go into this year's draft, what type of player would it be?
So I've already had a plan for what I have 2 CCPs right now. I have one that's modeled after me, and then Pablo Sanchez, Secret Weapon, Backyard Baseball. I've had the third one planned for a while now. I've chosen to spread out my CCPs because I don't get boosts as quick as most people, just because I'm not as financially able to support in the way that commission deserves, but also wouldn't get my boosts as fast. Not a lot of people know about this character, but when I was growing up, my favorite book series as a child was a series called Chip Hilton, written by a former coach called named Claire B. And Chip Hilton was the main character of all of these books, and he was known to be a 3-sport athlete: baseball, basketball, and football. They were my favorite books as a kid, teenager growing up. And I was going to model my next player after him. And he is actually a 2-way player, pitcher and catcher. He starts out the series as a catcher, but suffers an injury that keeps him from being able to crouch behind a home plate, turns himself into a pitcher so he can keep playing, and then ends up doing both at some point. So I was going to model my next CCP after him. I don't know when that will be. And also it's going to be harder to make 2-way players now. So I'm wondering if I should focus on one or the other. I also still need to find my books. They're somewhere in storage so I can remember like how to, like, what type of characteristics and attributes to build his character. Like, I need to remember his pitches, what he threw and stuff like that. So that's who I was going to model my next CCP after.
Oh, I think you should make them this year. And so that way,
I need to find the books.
Does
I
he go
found
to
one of the
college?
books. It was what's that?
Does he go to college?
Yeah. So the beginning of the series, he's in high school, and then it goes into him ending up in college.
Where's he go to college?
It's just a generic state university.
I'm curious if they pick one.
No, they don't have actual schools.
Is it like the insurance commercials where it's like tech U?
Yeah. Yeah.
Amherst State.
Yeah.
I think we should put Tim in so we can say JR for last.
Yeah. All right. This ought to be interesting.
Maybe not.
Sigh of misery.
So if we really were to make Men with No Lives, as Mr. Sean Paxlayer has suggested, I feel like every reality TV show has the most out there character. Why do you think that would be you?
Talk about a leading
to
question.
assume.
No. In seriousness, what would your role be?
Probably the guy who wants to make everybody laugh to cover just how uncomfortable he is in social situations. Which, not surprisingly, is a lot like real life. So.
Fair enough. I felt that pain.
It's okay. Okay. A second time tonight I've cried on stream.
Andrew.
I'm trying to avoid asking a Key Brian Hayes question.
Me too.
Yeah.
Why, God? Why?
Yeah. Who on your team is, because you were talking earlier about looking forward to getting some of that revenue sharing to help with extensions. Who on the Diamondbacks is your first priority for an extension?
Depending on the number of years and how low I can get this, it would probably be Carroll. Only in the sense that it would set me up that if somebody wanted to deal for him, they could use him long term as a corner outfielder or something like that.
So signing him to a reasonable contract so it's easier to potentially trade down the line.
Yeah, and he's a high loyalty guy, so
yeah,
I'm going to get a better cut than anyone else right now.
Minus the fact that he has a high financial ambition.
Yeah, I love that financial ambition.
No more greed.
Sorry, Michael Douglas. It just doesn't work anymore. We can't say greed. Yeah. So it's a Carroll. My own, I would love to say Rasmussen would be up there, but honestly, I share the same opinion as Brenden around relievers are basically like place kickers are in the NFL. Dime a dozen. He is unique. And I think he has some value, whereas most relievers don't. It's just, what do I need a top tier closer for?
I feel like the argument is not for kickers; it's for running backs.
Well, that too. But as a Colts fan, I'm kind of taking Taylor's side because Ursay's crazy.
Oh, 100%. But also Taylor's replaceable.
Oh, yeah. And I think the way the NFL is set now we're in the Joes and the pros. If you're not a quarterback, you are replaceable in the NFL.
It's true.
Or an elite offensive lineman and pass rusher. Those three position groups.
Yeah, well, you don't have to teach somebody to be fat. I mean, I'm fat. I can get in the way.
Ain't nobody replacing Jamar Chase, baby.
That's right. Bengals. Yeah, I like the Bengals.
All right, so my turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Mary F. Kill, Tim.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We got Aiden.
It's been a while.
Oh no.
We got Brenden, and we got Cody.
He left you and me out of it.
Why am I involved then?
Who am I three choices?
Aiden.
I'm killing Aiden because he's not here.
Wouldn't miss it. No, I'm kidding.
I'm marrying Brenden so that I can get to the spreadsheet when he's asleep.
He gives that out freely. What are you talking about?
And cue the saxophone kitty emotes for Cody.
Wow, chicken, wow, wow.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Cody, watch out. Butt fucking.
I'm dialing 9. I do want to play Pittsburgh on a stream, and I do want to continue the tradition that Aaron and Cody started.
Oh, beanball
between those two teams. Hell yes.
I want to go last for JR.
Okay. Oh God, I know what's coming. Don't do this to yourself, Brenden.
It's late. Help me.
All right. I will ask a question. You could have any CCP not named Trey Griffey. Who would it be?
I'm gonna eliminate my other couple CCPs as well, just for the sake of that. Because really the answer would be Jordan Cage, because I would love to have him on my team at a shortstop position, but eliminating him, yeah,
if he can play,
if he can play, goddamn, keeps getting hurt.
I know. I'm worried about Ed. Same way.
Sons of bitches.
Post office bubble wrap.
I would say probably Barry Bonds Jr.
Oh, okay.
Interesting choice.
Just so I could sit his ass on the bench.
Whoa! Let's go!
or relegate him.
Sit him down behind Jim Stone or Louis or Kaiser.
All right. You're not salty about our Kaiser.
Put that bat down, Bonds, you son of a bitch. Fill the water bottles up.
No, I picture. You remember that? That video clip of Jim Leland cussing Bonds out for not hustling in trend. That's you and John Bonds Jr. Yeah. Don't be giving me that shit.
Sit down and watch how the pros work here, boy.
Nice.
I have an interesting one. Of the teams you predicted to finish last in each division, Which one wins their division the soonest in the future?
Montreal.
That was a quick answer.
Yeah, no, it's because I really like I mentioned when we talked about earlier. I'm a huge fan of Jorge Allman, and I think GT's got some good young starting pitching there. I just think he needs some bats. I think once he gets some bats, that's going to be a tough team to deal with. I mean, the other teams. I mean, honestly, like the White Sox, I think are a long ways off. The A's. Again, we've talked. I think they're a long, long way off. And again, Tim's playing the long game from his end. I think, he'd even agree. Like he's looking down the road for his group. So I think it's the Expos.
All right, Brenden, what have we been waiting for here?
So this is the second out of like 4 pods, maybe 3, that you have done an FMK for me. Fuck, marry, kill. eMLB DILF edition. All right. Fuck, marry, kill. Steve Kim, Ryan Hetzer, James LeBlanc.
That's why you asked if he was still here.
That is why I asked if he was still here.
Gotcha. Interesting,
Uh-huh.
I would say, Kamish is like the finance guy, right? Which means he knows how to handle money. He's got all those, probably underhanded secret ways of, bending the rules to make sure you get all the money. So I'm marrying that dude. I mean, that's marriage material right there if I ever saw it, right? So I'm taking that.
And Diablo 3 times a week.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the DILF edition, though. They're all certifiable hunks.
Yeah, but I mean, like long term, and he's going to be playing his games and stuff. Like I can sneak away and do other shit while he's talking to you, Yokos. You know what I mean? Like, so that's marriage material. Steve Kim. I mean, who doesn't like a fun ride with the Asian persuasion? I mean, that's gotta be. I gotta fuck Steve, man. I mean, come on. Come on. So unfortunately that leaves Hetz. One of my favorite GMs is getting the old 45 to the back of the head. Maybe right after I fuck Steve. Like Steve may be in the car,
or during, who knows? I don't know.
Or during, yeah. While
Kamish
is like, buying me some stock, I'm fucking Steve and then, blowing heads away.
Oh my God.
That's a busy weekend you got planned.
Yeah. I could do all that in one night. A one night F Marry Kill stand.
I don't regret the can of worms I opened.
You guys got this shit for free. You didn't have to pay for that shit.
I feel like that deserves some donations, though.
Right?
Yeah, I shook my
At
ass.
least-
Give me those
At
ones.
least for bail, if nothing else.
We need to pay Ben's lawyer fees.
I thought for sure you were throwing Ben in there.
I wanted to, but like I already called Ryan a DILF on the show, so I figured I'd just keep going with it.
Is that really what we're going to end on?
It is what we're going to end on. eMLB, join us next time when we rank all of our top sexiest DILFs in the league.
Yeah, more butt fucking on the way.
And just
Why did I put this on my channel?
You made it through 4 hours.
My channel was listed as family friendly before this stream. I'm just saying.
We're just trying to even it out.
All I'm saying is that like if my like mental notes are correct on like everybody's familial situation, Andrew, you're the only one in this group. So join us next time to find out where you rank.
Oh God.
Brown cow.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out for us for almost 4 hours at this point. We really appreciate everyone tuning in, hanging out in the chat, listening to us ramble on and on about nonsense and inappropriate content.
And DILFs.
And
Just say it
DILFs.
there.
Gills.
Turns out Aiden was the smart one for leaving. But please tune in this weekend to all of the streams that are participating in the 4th annual Fluffy Kitty Ninja annual streamathon, raising money for the Jimmy Fund and the Dana-Farber Cancer Research Institute. Any amount you all can give is appreciated. Link is been in going back and forth in the chat, !charity. Tune into Kamish's streams this Saturday and Sunday. He will be doing both giveaways and auctions. So more information about what you could potentially get from the streamathon there. So make sure you tune in. I'm going to quickly shout
Mr.
him
Sean
out.
Paxlayer had a question. I feel like we should allow him to ask it.
Oh, okay. Okay. What is his question?
I don't know.
As I'm wrapping up here.
He said, I have a question. Let's wait for him to ask it.
Oh,
and then we can get out of here.
Did it come through? Oh, it did.
Yeah. What
It
is
is.
wrong with you people?
From the Pittsburgh food stand, JR, what's in the chili in the famous Cincinnati chili dog?
What's in the chili?
What's in the chili in the Cincinnati famous chili dog is this question.
Well, a couple of the secret ingredients are cinnamon and chocolate.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right.
I'm going to be trying some of that.
I mean, you have the chili on the hot dog with the mustard and the onions, but in the chili, if that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what the question was what is in the chili?
Yeah, couple. Those are a couple of the secret ingredients there.
The only thing I ask, JR, is that you go take me to get some Cincinnati chili. That's like the only thing I ask you to do.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
Good.
And as Kamish pointed out in chat, he will be talking more about the streamathon in Laptop Hound stream tomorrow, who I also just linked in the chat. So be sure to drop Laptop Hound a follow, fellow OOTP affiliate streamer. We have a goal of hitting $20,000 raised this year. We are currently just under 2,000, I believe, at about 1,900. So the goal is to hit that 20,000 by the end of the streamathon. All the donations are live. The fundraiser started, even though commission streams aren't until Saturday, Sunday. Myself, I'm going to be streaming where I converted eMLB into Super Mega Baseball 4. I'm still working on it, so I might not be streaming tomorrow, but I will be streaming Friday for sure. Back on this channel where I'm going to put on a Super Mega Baseball 4 tournament with the eMLB players. I did my best to predict what everyone's opening day roster would be, but I'm sure I'm going to be wrong in some areas. Any other last comments? Dare I ask that before we end tonight?
Remember, Commish, if you're still here, third time's a charm. You and me, buddy.
Commish just posted. They're currently at $2,974.20.
That's right. $1,000 has been donated. That was not donated directly to the Tiltify part of this. I believe part of it was Commish's match. So yes, we are almost at $3,000. Still have a goal of 20,000 that we would love to hit, and would appreciate any contribution, no matter how small. Every little bit helps. That's the phrase I was trying to say. So thank you all for supporting the podcast pals tonight. Thank you all for supporting the eMLB and the charity streamathon. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Take care, everybody.
Good night.